There we go. Now we have audio.
Are we sure that's what it was? That's what it was.
It was blinking, so yes.
Oh, okay. That's right. It goes to default mute because that's what I have it set to most of the time. And so even if you unplug it and plug it into another computer, it's default mute.
Oh,
anyway, all right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to WordCast number 33. Sorry about that. We're idiots, but it's cool. And by we're, I mostly mean me because it's my mic. But anyway. Thank you guys for letting us know about the no sound.
Yeah,
that was very
Thank
helpful.
you, Justin.
So I titled this one
else.
"Full Speed Ahead" is what I was saying, because those of you that follow the channel closely have already noticed this. But we have 5 videos a week on the channel now. So basically Monday through Friday there's a video. This being one of them, WordCast on Wednesdays. Although if I start getting enough content in and enough stuff, I'll be posting an actual review on Wednesdays as well. Miracle will have a video out this Friday as well. He's got a C++ tutorial for you guys, so that'll be super awesome. But we got lots of great news this time around. We're very excited, and also thank you to everybody that has joined in ahead of time and whatnot. We appreciate it.
Lots of great news, and then there's the Apple TV.
I know, right? Well, I mean, come on. There's a couple decent things about it.
Name one thing that makes it better than the Shield TV, which has been out for a while.
Nothing at all, except that the service, anything you bought in 1080p, you get for 4K for free.
Okay.
And 4K movies are the same price as 1080p movies. They didn't go up in price at all. So it's the service, not really the Apple TV itself.
If you've already been using Apple, it's good. If not, get a Shield TV or an Xbox.
Well, the pricing.
We'll talk about that later. Pricing is not much better.
No. I mean,
we'll talk about it later.
Yes.
Because it doesn't.
Okay. Well, were you sure we'll talk about that later?
We got more important.
We got lots of fun stuff to talk about here, guys. Unfortunately, this is going to be a little bit of an Apple set one, of course, you guys would expect, but there's still a decent amount of PC news. Some of it actually came out today, so any of you that will see WordCast Lite tomorrow, which is our weekly news roundup, which is basically what we talk about today, there's going to be a few things that we talk about in here out of it that I would have liked to put in it, but the news came out today, and I filmed that yesterday, and edited that yesterday, and uploaded it today. So anyway.
For tomorrow,
yes, because I got to film it ahead of time, right? Guys, because I work a full-time job, I can't film and edit and upload all in one day at the same time. So anyway, shut up. So anyway, point is, WordCast Lite is what the Thursday weekly news roundup is going to be called, though, and there'll be a lot more detail in our standard WordCast, because it's 2 hours long instead of 10 minutes or so. But there'll also be some topics left out, so just an FYI to you guys that follow it closely. So, shall we start with Toshiba or Apple? What are you feeling?
Well, we can start with Toshiba because it'll kind of relate into Apple.
That's true.
Toshiba is set to sell their flash storage unit to Western Digital,
which actually surprised me when I heard about this. It actually surprised me because that is a very profitable division. Flash is huge right now.
For now,
Flash is going to keep being huge, though.
Yes, but
it's going to get bigger.
But the margins won't be as high. Right now, they're selling it for more than they would get for it 6 months from now.
Right, that's true.
Because realistically, Toshiba's probably not going to be growing their business all that much. It's going to keep relying off of the sustained profitability of inflation of the market.
Yeah, okay, I can understand that. That makes sense.
We're looking at, let's be real, they would probably have to increase their the number of sales of flash chips by 50% just to be as profitable now as they will be once the price normalizes.
Yeah, and I guess while that makes sense, I still feel like it's a division that's not going to be going downhill at all. When it comes to, not profitability, but when it comes to how many units sold. Profitability is important, but also, I mean, it's an area that's going to keep, I mean, it's still a money farm either way. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but $18 billion allows for a lot of investment in...
That's true. But, I mean, what does Toshiba even do at this point, then?
Computers?
I mean, yes, but I mean, they were one of the biggest flash makers, and now it's just like it feels like they're just we'll just kind of diminish ourselves, almost like HTC.
Well, they also do have a lot of business to business.
Right. Okay. I guess that makes sense.
That's a big industry for a lot of people that people just don't think about. But yeah, and I'm sure there's other stuff that they do that we don't really think about. I mean, I know that they do in some areas. Don't they do TVs and stuff?
They do some TVs. They're not huge sellers or anything like that. Nothing super special, but
let's see.
Yeah,
I mean they do other stuff, but yeah, the biggest things are probably their computers and their flash memory.
Right. I guess it makes sense.
They might also have some other idea for what industry they would want to move into with $18 billion.
I mean, yes, that's a good point too. But
however, there's a lot of people not happy about it because for those that don't follow flash storage news all that often, which is 99% of people.
I do.
I said 99%.
Sorry.
Western Digital, the same people looking at buying Toshiba, recently, not recently, but they in the past have purchased SanDisk and recently have purchased Tegile. So they've purchased.
I haven't heard of Tegile.
They're I think they're important, but they're not.
I don't know why I haven't heard of them when I follow Flash News.
Heavily. They make like NVMe. They make. They're California based.
Okay, wow. I haven't heard of Tegile.
I think it's data center focused.
Western Digital acquires Tegile. That's on their homepage. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Okay, well that's cool.
So they've purchased.
So WD is just buying flash makers back, like left and right. They're just boom, boom, boom.
It seems like what they want to do is get there to be as many flash storage makers as there are hard drive makers.
And that's not a bad idea. Yeah.
For them.
For them.
The industry,
yeah, that's true.
So much so that Apple's trying to fight it.
Yes, and I don't know how I feel about this. It's a little bit of like a toss up for me because I like competition.
Yeah. Apple's trying to keep that.
And Apple's trying to keep that competition, which is a good thing. But Apple also doesn't like competition, right? You know, they're trying to kill off other competitors in the smartphone industry and stuff like that, right?
Not really.
And I mean, maybe
Android
not
is booming.
Directly. That's true. I mean, yes. While that's true,
if anything, we should be blaming Google for the lack of competition because they've done a better job of killing off other OSs than Apple has.
Okay, that's actually true. That's a true point. That's a true point. Okay.
So, but for those that want to know a little bit more about how Apple is trying to deal with the Toshiba potential takeover, they're essentially, because right now all of their iPhones and I think their laptops and everything that they do flash storage-wise is done through Toshiba.
Correct.
So it looks like they are just straight threatening to back out of business with Toshiba should Western Digital take over. Now that was the info from a few days ago.
Right.
There's some new info from today where it looks like Apple's trying to get a $3 billion stake in another organization's Toshiba stake, Toshiba control. So they're trying to step in and buy some of the stock so that Western Digital can't have complete ownership.
Interesting. Now that's actually really interesting to me.
Now they're getting... This shows you how serious Apple is about this.
I mean, also we have to consider that Apple has $250 billion in the bank.
Yeah,
they could just be like,
buy Toshiba.
They could be like, hey Toshiba, we'll just buy your entire company, not just your flash division. We'll give you $100 billion for your entire company if they really wanted to. And like Alien Technology says, $18 billion is a little bit of money. Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, where would this leave like other hard drive manufacturers, though, right? Because other hard drive manufacturers aren't focusing very heavily on flash right now. Like Seagate, HGST, Hitachi aren't really putting much attention towards that direction. And if WD starts moving into this realm, are they going to follow, or are they going to just continue pushing hard drives? I know Seagate's getting ready to launch Hammer next year.
Yeah.
And that's exciting,
I mean, honestly, I don't think that we're going to see a major shift from hard drive makers until flash storage is worth it on every aspect. As long as there's room for hard drive sales, especially in a data center.
Yeah, which I mean, it's sensible. Hard drives are still sensible for like a lot of stuff, right?
But the data center is probably the biggest business for hard drive sales.
It is by far. It is by far, correct.
So
I mean, you have people like me, but
as long as it's viable in that industry,
right?
That's where they're going to focus. And so, for a lot of things, hard drives are still the way to go.
Right. Okay.
So why not focus on that?
I can agree with that.
So for a little more detail about this thing that Apple's trying to do, essentially what it is, there's two main organizations trying to get Toshiba. It's Western Digital and then Bain, which is Bain Capital. And so Apple is essentially trying to step in and allow Bain to go for potentially like a little bit higher bid without spending more money.
By helping fund that, right?
Yeah, if Apple can step in with $3 billion, then Bain can offer the same they were going to and be $3 billion more, which puts them probably ahead of WD.
What does Bain do? Do they manufacture hard drives and stuff?
Well, it's Bain Capital, so it's probably just a capital investment.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, it's just an alternative investment firms.
Right, okay.
So it's a private equity company.
Interesting, okay.
Which also means that
that
Toshiba
that will keep the competition
around.
Independent.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is important, which is
wants.
exactly what Apple wants to have happen. Because they like competition because it helps them get lower prices.
Yeah.
Ultimately doesn't help their consumers get lower prices because they charge, 200% for everything. But
well, again, and this is the case with all of the tech industry, you need to take into account R&D cost. You need to take into account...
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah. I'm just saying that, like, when you look at manufacturing costs versus other manufacturers that say are doing very nearly as innovational of products, like if you look at laptops and how thin they are, what they're machined out of, right? And then you look at the margins. Apple's margins are massive. That's why they have $250 billion in the bank, right?
And the App Store.
Which is, I mean, it's good business practice.
And the App Store.
And the App Store and iTunes.
App Store probably nowadays way more important than iTunes.
Yes, but I mean, iTunes is still a pretty raw money maker.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, so, I don't know. This is interesting to me. I kind of hope WD doesn't buy them. They already have enough flash makers. They can make their own SSDs.
Yeah, SanDisk
they already make their own SSDs.
SanDisk was enough.
SanDisk has some of the better controllers out there. So, I don't know, like, once you have quality controllers, the flash becomes a little bit less important. And SanDisk has, I believe, patents for a whole bunch.
I mean, though, let's be real. Apple's got some 10 out of 10 NVMe flash chips.
Yeah, that's true.
We all know that's like one of the best things about the current iPhone.
Although, does Apple actually manufacture them, or are they manufactured by Samsung?
They get the flash chips from...
From Toshiba. From Toshiba. Oh, okay.
Because Toshiba's who they get their flash from.
That's right. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart. Yeah.
And I think they make their... I'm pretty sure they made their own NVMe controller.
Oh, I would imagine.
Because there was no proper mobile
because there's nothing
NVMe
that they can just install on the iPhone.
Android doesn't have it.
Right, which is understandable. Although somebody else needs to come along and make it. Qualcomm or somebody, please help us.
I would have to assume that part of for the top tier Qualcomm Next chip, it's gotta have an NVMe controller.
Yeah, maybe
it does not make sense not to do.
I think it's important.
So
Samsung's still around dominating the industry too, which is always the fun thing.
Yeah.
Their flash is incredible.
Yeah.
A little bit too incredible, maybe? I don't know. So to speak.
I don't know. Let's talk other Apple news though. We'll go in order of the announcements in the event.
I'm fine with whatever. Yeah. You watch the event. I don't care.
First off, Apple Watch. It has LTE. It's getting a new software update. Whoop-de-fucking-do.
Yay, they didn't do anything innovational with the thing that they never did any innovation on.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, let's be real.
Impressed. Here,
After first-gen Android Wear, smartwatches kind of died.
It's true, which is unfortunate to me. I thought it was a cool industry, and it lost a lot of things. And I still love it. Actually, I want to get a new smartwatch, but the industry's kind of dead right now. I don't feel like spending money on a new one. Like, the nicest one right now is basically the Huawei watch.
Yeah. Realistically, the Apple Watch is a fitness watch. Straight up. Like, LTE... Yeah. Plus, the whole point of LTE, really, as far as from a marketing perspective, is being able to do things like go for a run without your phone. Just have earpods and an Apple Watch, and you've got music, you've got calls, you've got what you need. It all uses the same phone number, so it just works.
Yeah.
That's really what it is, though, is it's a fitness device. If you don't need a fitness watch, don't buy the Apple Watch.
Yeah, and I can agree with that. I mean, I think when it becomes a big thing is that they can get non-penetration blood glucose monitoring. That's what they're working on.
Apple's is the
really
key
trying. Well, they have their only company that probably has the money to dump into something like that.
That was one of the big things that Steve Jobs wanted.
Yeah, and because people don't realize, blood glucose monitoring is valuable to everyone. It's not just diabetics that need it or pre-diabetics or anything like that. Everybody, realistically, especially in America, but really everybody, should be monitoring their blood glucose level because we eat way too much fucking sugar.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like, it'd be a really valuable thing to know constantly. And the only way that you can get it semi-constant right now is they make, like, armbands that prick periodically. Yeah. And that's, like, annoying. So if they can get that, that'd be a really good, big deal.
Yeah. And I know that
Alien Technology made a good point. People don't want to buy a watch every year, which is, I think, what killed off a lot of the watch market. Actually, I understand that firsthand because I have a Zen Watch 2. It's a great watch, and, I mean, it's gotten the update to Wear 2, but it didn't change that much about it, and it's not like, it feels outdated. It feels sluggish. It has problems, and it's nowhere near as good as it was when it was brand new. And so I think actually I can understand that where people don't want to be upgrading all the time. People want to buy a watch, keep it for a decade.
Yeah.
And so if they can get something out there that actually will realistically last that long that's useful, that'd be cool.
The other thing I think that could work, especially from a company like Apple, is you pay like a small lease on it. Small fee lease. And then new one comes out, turn it in, Apple scraps it for parts, recycles it. You get the new one. They keep.
That's a doable.
They get a monthly fee every day for every month for years.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
And you get the new features without a significant hassle. But yeah, I mean, still preferably you'd get a watch that would just work for a long time, and that's not what the smartwatch market's ever going to be.
Right, exactly, and that's
and in fact, there was even a court case where Apple was I think they were getting sued over something to do with how long their devices lasted. And,
I remember this.
And they effectively said in court their devices are guaranteed to last a year. Yeah, and that's it. Which this Apple using that argument in America could screw them in Australia because they are required in Australia, per laws there, to have 2-year warranties based off the cost of the device. Right. That's right. So there's some interesting things that could come from that, depending on. I'm not an expert on Australian legal law because I don't live in Australia, nor
well, why not?
Because
they're a great place. I'm just.
He said boo.
So, yeah. But yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Smartwatch industry is kind of dying. So, yeah. Okay. So next Apple topic was
the Apple TV.
Apple TV.
So I personally don't think anyone should buy this. Here's why. If you buy... so the big upgrades for this is 4K HDR. Now, if you already have a 4K HDR TV, it has a smart interface. So you can do things like streaming Netflix, streaming other video services.
Plex, pretty much, even. Like, there's a lot of stuff for smart TVs.
Other than Apple's own service, you could probably do most of everything. So if you're going to be spending, in this case, $179, you want to get...
Or $200.
Yeah. You want to get extra functionality.
Yeah.
Well, what extra functionality can you get? You can get gaming. You can get...
Not good games.
Blu-ray. I'm just saying in general features. You can get gaming. You can get Blu-ray playback. You can get upgraded audio like Atmos.
Right, yes.
Well, let's look at the Apple TV. It's got gaming on a crappy controller with crappy games that are phone games just kind of ported to the TV. For the most part, there are some like Apple TV specific games that I don't know anyone that would want to play.
So not good either way.
There is no Dolby Atmos.
Yep.
And there's no physical media playback.
In fact, there's no DTSX either. There's no spatial surround on it. Yeah. Which is outdated at this point, just like Apple's behind.
Let's look at the competition to see if that actually matters. Closest price competitor, Shield TV. No physical media. However, supports Google Play's movie service, supports Netflix, supports 4K, supports HDR, supports Atmos, supports games with a real controller.
Yep.
Supports game stream from an NVIDIA-based graphics card, so you can have a gaming computer in your room. Yeah. Stream it to the TV.
There's the functionality is insane compared to this.
And if you buy, so there's a $200 model, or there's a $300 model with a 500 gig hard drive, and you can run a Plex server off that hard drive.
Yeah.
There's some great functionality there. Or, how much is... Let me look up something really quick.
Okay, well, I'll read a comment here. So, Alien Technology says, you can say the same thing about TV boxes. He's saying, like, the market dying off, like the Apple TV and Fire TV.
I think there's
he's like, most people just want to stream Netflix. I partially agree with this statement, but I also think that there's still... there's a wide variety of services that people still use. Amazon, Netflix, YouTube, Plex if you're a nerd. There's a decent handful. If they have them built into the smart TVs, it's definitely useful. But for people that maybe don't have a smart TV...
Yeah, because there's still a very strong market
or if you have a smart TV like mine where the UI is slow, sluggish. I mean, it plays video just fine, but it's just like it's kind of a pain to get to things. And that's why...
Vizio pre-casting built in was kind of shitty, like my TV. Yeah. So the other thing to keep in mind with that is, there's still a lot of like super cheap 4K TVs that don't have smart TV
functionality.
UI.
Yeah, exactly.
Now Roku has been. I don't know how this is really profitable for them that much.
Yeah.
But they've been doing a very good job of getting in low cost TVs. You can get a 4K. Somewhat HDR TV for $400.
Yeah,
with Roku built in.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, Roku's subsidizing it, but the thing is, they assume that they're gonna because Roku makes money off the service providing.
Yeah, but not as much as other services because they don't spam it with ads. Correct. They do have a little bit, but nothing ridiculous.
if that can recoup the, say, $50 that they give to each TV, get more people hooked on it, and then more people are using it for the long term, that's a big deal. Yeah. So,
now the other thing I wanted to look up as far as pricing, $250, and this includes Minecraft for an Xbox One S. You get Atmos, you get real gaming.
Yes, you get 4K HDR.
4K Blu-ray.
Yes, I was about to say 4K Blu-ray HDR, meaning you get high bitrate HDR 4K. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, you get all the other smart services, $250.
Yep.
Even if you just...
That's $50 more than the higher-end Apple TV, and $70 more than the lower-end Apple TV. You get actual gaming, you get Atmos and DTSX, and you get
and even if you don't
Blu-ray
care about
playing.
Even if you don't care about gaming...
It still makes more sense. Yeah, the Blu-ray player alone, that's another $150 to $200 for a 4K HDR Blu-ray.
And again,
and most of them don't support Atmos.
Yeah.
So.
And if you have a full 4K HDR TV, again, the only point in buying a box like this is for upgraded functionality.
Yeah, yeah.
Which doesn't mean the same functionality, but Apple's service. It means upgraded functionality.
Right, exactly, yeah. So, yeah.
In my opinion, there's no way I will ever recommend this Apple TV for as long as it is on the market.
Yep, and I agree with you. And I mean, you know, like people will see my WordCast Lite thing tomorrow. The thing I talked about that was actually impressive because we all expected 4K HDR was I felt it was cool that Apple as a service, anybody that bought it through Apple TV services, not through Netflix or Amazon, they get the 4K version of all the content they bought for free, and prices aren't going up from the 1080p to 4K. It's the same price. But that's about the service, not the Apple TV itself. Yeah. So it doesn't even. It's like.
And even then, you're not getting Blu-ray
And it's
quality.
about time the Apple TV got updated, and they didn't even do that great of a job.
Yeah.
So.
And you're not getting Blu-ray quality with that.
No, nowhere near. I mean, it's like an eighth.
It's like a streaming quality.
Exactly.
So just watch Netflix.
Yeah, just watch Netflix at that point. Yeah. So, yeah, it's whatever. I mean, that's why 4K Netflix, and 4K streaming in general looks lower quality than 1080p Blu-ray, and.
Yeah, I mean, essentially the way I see it, you get 1080p streaming is like kind of the baseline nowadays.
Yeah.
And then, or close to the same, depending on what your service you're using, 4K Netflix and 1080p Blu-ray.
Yeah, those are
and then the step up above
4K
is
Blu-ray.
Well, next up above is 4K HDR streaming.
Okay, yeah.
And then 4K Blu-ray.
And then 4K HDR Blu-ray, yeah. Which is why I'm still considering for my home theater doing a 1080p projector, which sounds funny. I'll talk to you more about that later.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So anyway, I think Alien Technology's main point, though, is really it's going to slow down because people aren't going to upgrade those as often.
Yeah.
You get one, you keep it for a couple years. I mean, our Roku's 4 or 5 years old, right? And, I mean, we don't have a 4K TV. It plays 1080p. That's all we need. It still functions super smooth. It doesn't have issues other than once in a while it crashes and we have to unplug and replug it. But, I mean, it's old and it's been through its paces, right? But we use it constantly and it's smooth still. The UI is still smooth. They haven't updated it with more sluggish graphics. Roku does a good job with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so next Apple thing.
iPhone 8. So, as far as design goes, the biggest change is that the back is no longer metal, it's glass.
Which allows Qi charging.
Yes.
Which is a big deal because it'll help make it mainstream. Now, everybody that's an idiot's going to say, oh, Apple invented Qi charging.
Actually, the way that Apple presented this, I really like. They specifically mentioned it was an existing standard.
Okay.
They specifically mentioned that they would be able to help spread the standard into more locations.
Okay.
They actually, because keep in mind, people, they didn't just request the ability to use Qi charging from the consortium that controls it.
Yeah.
They joined the consortium. They help make the decisions for the future of Qi charging.
Which makes sense. So, I mean, I guess, I guess the point I was getting at not so much was, a lot of people that are especially not very tech oriented or just getting into it. I made this mistake when I was just getting into it. Apple invented this. Apple invented the smartphone. Apple invented the tablet. Apple invented Qi charging.
Now, though, to be fair, with those previous, that's kind of why I was bringing up the way that they talked about it.
This is a little different.
They specifically talked about it in a different way. Even on their website, they kind of talk about it as an existing standard.
I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, because that mistake's made with a lot of technology.
That they didn't make this. Yeah, that they are just trying to improve it.
Now, what is going to happen is Face Unlock is because Apple, they invented Face Unlock. Apple invented gesture recognition for the home button.
We'll get into all that other stuff.
Yeah, we will. I'm just saying they're going to say that Apple did these things, and it's just
but yeah, so Qi charging. Now, what's interesting about this? So, for those of you that have used Qi charging, you have to get it in a specific spot.
Yeah.
Apple's coming out with a wireless charging pad that uses Qi charging. It seems like some upgraded version of it. Because the plan is, anywhere on the pad, you set the device, it works.
Yeah, which basically just means they're just using larger induction coils on the bottom. I would assume that's the solution. It probably just requires more power. And
because they are part of the Qi charging group. So they may be working with them on some upgrade itself to the standard that would allow for a more efficient way to handle
potentially. I would guess the problem, if they were just to, like, say, add more of the coils inside, the problem would be getting that passed with FCC regulation. Because you're going to have more, radiation leakage from it. Yeah,
because the idea with Apple's new charging pad is that it's about, probably like this wide. And the idea is you'd be able to throw your phone, throw your earpods, and your Apple Watch just anywhere on this pad, and they will all
be a decent sized pad. And and my big thing is okay. I like the idea behind wireless charging, but I also have this little I wouldn't call it a pet peeve. It's almost like the opposite. But like, if I have to plug in things when I go to bed and it takes me an extra 3 seconds, but it charges way faster.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
That's not so much the point of wireless charging, though. Well, the point of wireless charging is, like, let's say you have a pad on your desk, so you get to work, you just...
I get it.
Plop your phone down, you don't even have to think about it, especially when you look at stuff like what IKEA has, where they have
where it's built into the furniture, right. And while I understand that, if they can just make a phone that lasts all day, you don't have to worry about it.
I mean, Apple's battery life is better than pretty much every Android phone.
It's true, ridiculously. But what I need is we need phones to be willing to manufacturers to be willing to make them just a little bit thicker, to put a little bit bigger battery in it, and work on efficiency a little bit more, so that we can have a phone that will get you through 24 hours of the hardest usage you can put it through. To be fair,
I do agree with you, but to be fair, let's look at phone manufacturers that have done that. Motorola, they don't do that anymore. There's a reason for that.
Well, Motorola wasn't. They were
the ones.
They were the best battery life, but it still wasn't realistically a day for a real power user.
On some of their phones, it was...
it was okay. But, I mean, it was better than everybody else, absolutely. But, yeah, I mean, my point is just, if we can get it through an entire day, because that's my biggest pet peeve, is I hate having to charge it in the car. Yeah. I hate having to charge it at home when I'm by my computer. I have quick charge everywhere. But, I mean, except when I go to bed, because I like to trickle charge it, just to be nicer to the battery. But it's like, for me... I don't really care about this. I care about faster charging, and I care about all-day battery life. Yeah. Those are my two things. Yeah, this is just a convenience thing. Once we can get it to be able to go through tables, be built into tables, that starts to be a little bit different story.
IKEA.
Right. And IKEA's already done that.
And that's the other nice thing about what Apple's trying to do with wireless charging is get it integrated into places like coffee shops, bookstores, hotels, like just different places where you might come to and set your phone down. And so you're at the coffee shop having a drink, you just set it on the table and it just, it got more power.
Right.
The idea is that eventually, theoretically, we get to a point where you never have to actively charge your phone.
Right, exactly. You just set it places. You set it on your desk. You set it in your car on your mount. You set it, on your nightstand when you go to bed. You set it on the table at the coffee shop. You set it on the table at work. And it's just always getting a little bit of charge, enough to theoretically never charge the phone, realistically.
And this is exactly why I wanted Apple to do wireless charging way back right after Android phones started using it. Was like, I knew...
You want it to be a standard. You want it to be everywhere.
Because there was, I think it was Samsung was trying to talk to a couple coffee shops, and I think maybe 2 or 3 Starbucks got that in their stores.
Yeah.
And it never went anywhere. And I'm like, Apple needs to do that because it'll be everywhere. And if they use a real standard, or if they make a new standard but allow other people to use it,
then it's going to be everywhere. It doesn't matter.
What we need is Apple to use it, because
unfortunately, they're the biggest tech influence out there.
Yeah, as much as Apple doesn't really invent tech, they mainstream tech.
Yeah, exactly.
If they introduce something,
everybody does it. Yeah. And, I mean, there was actually a really good implementation of wireless charging that I saw. I can't remember what company did it, and they didn't really, they're not still huge, but it was like you had a circle of metal on the back, okay, on wherever you mount the phone to. So it was a mountain specific. Sorry, I should say that first. But they were also going to make pads and stuff. And there's magnets, and you just put the phone on there, and there's little pins on the back of a special case you get for the phone that connects to that. So it does full speed wired charging without the wires. You just magnetically clip it on. So it's not passing
it through. Pogo pin charging. It's not.
It's pogo pin charging, but it's still wireless. I mean, realistically,
they already have pogo pin power for other things.
They do. I'm saying no. I'm not saying it's new tech. I'm saying it was a cool idea to throw that into a phone case because you don't have to worry about the slower charging rate, the hotter temperatures.
I think that, for one, if Apple's coming out with their own wireless charger, especially that new one, I assume that there's going to be a reduction in heat. That was the big thing that Apple,
was one of Apple
specifically, like when the MacBook with only one USB port came out.
Yeah.
They had kind of talked about wireless charging around that time, where they had mentioned that they didn't put wireless charging in that. They want to get rid of ports because they find ports to be clunky and not part of how Apple sees their products to be used, which I do agree how Apple sees their products should be used is not in a way that cables make sense.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And so eventually you're going to get at least some Apple devices with no ports. Yep. That's just going to be how things go. But the thing is that they didn't want to do that until wireless charging was good enough.
I wouldn't be surprised if the next
if they didn't see
iPhone doesn't have a charging port.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
I think maybe we'll get the revision of this and then no charging port.
Maybe so. Yeah. Okay.
But other than wireless charging, since we talked
a little bit more about the iPhone 8,
there is also, we didn't have it in this, but there is quick charging, finally.
Oh, yeah, that's
50% within 30 minutes.
Yep.
No headphone jack. Never coming back, just get over it.
True Tone display. Yes. I like this, so like the iPad Pro 10.5 inch has. It adjusts the actual colors of the display based on ambient lighting, not just the brightness of your display. I think it's a very cool design.
However, unfortunately, I was really disappointed by this. No ProMotion display, meaning no 120 hertz. Which, if you've seen that, have you seen that iPad in person?
I've seen not the iPad, but I have seen 120 hertz.
I know
panels,
but
right? Yeah,
you should just use it. It's so nice to use a tablet at 120 hertz.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, it feels well. I mean, it feels better because you're interfacing with it. With your fingers.
More direct. It's other than for gaming. 120 hertz is probably most useful on a touchscreen device in my opinion.
Yeah.
After having used an iPad with that. It's also got a new chip, the A11 Bionic. I love the name.
I do like the name.
It's a 6-core with 2 high-performance and 4 efficiency cores. Now, all 6 can be used at once.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
I still just find it funny that they go with 4 efficient. It feels like it should be flopped. You know? I understand why, but it feels like it should be flopped.
Yeah, it's weird to think about, but I mean, ultimately...
The 4 efficiency cores are going to be handling more background tasks and text messaging and stuff while you're, like, gaming, for example.
Yeah, I mean, other than, like, gaming and watching video, like, 4K video and recording 4K video, how often is the high-performance cores going to be used, especially when there's 4 efficiency cores?
I wouldn't... That's a good point,
like,
actually.
Facebook wouldn't need it, Instagram,
I mean,
Snapchat.
I wouldn't imagine video would even need it.
4K video.
4K video would, yeah. But not, like... That's just going to be for photography and gaming, basically.
This is also going to help battery life.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's be real, they probably reduced the size of the battery. That's just what Apple does. But
I'll see if I can find more info on that.
They usually don't release those numbers for battery size.
I've seen them before.
I mean, sometimes they do.
Well, anyway, go ahead and continue talking about it.
But other than that, the big upgrade was the new camera. So, still 12 megapixels. However, it's got a f1.8 aperture lens, and the Plus model has a f2.8 second camera, which is the zoom lens.
Yeah.
It records 4K 60 FPS, 1080p 240.
He said 60, guys. He didn't say 30. He said 60. Yeah. You heard him right.
So you look at all those $1,000, $1,500 cinema cameras that do 4K 30.
Yeah.
Apple's like, yeah, we're better than you. So
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes me happy, even though...
Honestly, I think this is going to push for real cameras to get 4K 60 faster.
Yeah, probably.
Because, like, let's be real. If you're not going to... For people that are, like, looking at getting into videography and photography...
Yeah.
Having lower specs than a cell phone, especially probably at this point, the second most popular singular model of phone, the iPhone versus the Galaxy S.
Right.
If you can't beat the iPhone, you're not going to sell to those people that are, like... nearing getting into photography.
Yeah.
So, or like potential YouTubers. This camera is going to be... I saw a whole bunch of YouTubers who the most exciting thing about this entire event was the camera.
Yeah.
Because for them, it allows you 1080p 240 and 4K 60 on something that's small. Allows for a lot of flexibility and creativity.
Yeah.
So,
indeed.
Overall,
Alien Technology mentioned, he's like, so he was agreeing with us about the wireless charging. It'll be in more places now. He's like, look what happened with Apple Pay.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Although what I will say is a little company called Loop Pay that was bought by Samsung to do what do they even call it now on Samsung? It's not is it Samsung Pay? Yeah, it's Samsung Pay. I'm being dumb. Anyway, works with old-fashioned mag stripe and as well as the newer chip readers. You don't have to have a special device, so it'll work on old machinery. That's the real innovation there. But Samsung owns all the patents to that because they bought Loop Pay.
Yeah, and they don't allow anyone else to use it.
Exactly, and I mean, which is kind of lame, but also gives them the advantage, right? So I mean,
it's the advantage that no average consumer I've seen cares about.
Yeah.
The nicest thing I think that a lot of people take mobile payments and give the credit to Apple. It's partially on Apple. It's partially on the timing in which we switched to chip readers.
Yeah.
Because chip readers are slow as shit. If there's tap to pay available, I will use it just because we have chip readers.
Well, what I will say is if you're using if you use like Samsung Pay through the chip instead of through the mag stripe, it takes just as long because it's going through the encryption process. The problem is the encryption and decryption process with the banks is slow.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot we can do about that unless we improve our infrastructure, which there's a few little known companies that are making that very hard. Nobody knows what they're called though, Comcast, Verizon, they're not making, not them.
Thankfully, Samsung Pay can use both. Tap to pay through NFC and MST.
Correct.
But yeah, I mean, I think that if Apple introduced Apple Pay when we just had swipe, people would have still liked it.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been as big of a deal.
Yeah.
But we're hitting the timing where more and more people want to use Tap to Pay just so they can get out of the damn store faster.
Yeah. Which it makes sense.
And then you have all the mainstream stores like, Walmart, Safeway, Target that don't use Tap to Pay because they probably just want to make their own mobile payment thing that nobody will use.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's move on.
iPhone X, the big thing that everybody was waiting for.
So yes, another iPhone, in case you guys didn't see the event, in case you guys were living under a rock for a day.
There's an 8 and an 8 Plus.
Okay, yeah, we did
we
say
only
that,
talked about it for the camera.
Yeah.
Again, same thing, just bigger.
Yep.
So iPhone X, for those of you that saw the leaked images expecting the screen to have that little cutout, like a bigger cutout version of the Essential phone.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we got. So we're looking at a $999 starting price.
$1,000. Lower than we expected.
Yeah.
Rumors were $1,200 to $1,300.
Isn't that like the same price as the Note?
No, the Note is like $940.
Oh, $60.
Yeah, it's $60 whole dollars, bro.
Yeah.
The Note, I think it's $930.
$960.
Well, I think that's for the 64 gig, and then is there a 32?
I don't think so.
I thought there was two models. One was slightly cheaper. One was like $940 or something like that, or $930. I don't know. I could be wrong. Could be wrong.
But yeah, I mean, we're looking at pretty close to the same price. So a lot of people are gonna. Okay, so cheapest is $930.
Okay, so $930.
So a lot of people are gonna shit on Apple for the price, but Samsung, of the two major companies, pushed over $900 first.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, they have the 8 for people that don't want to spend the money, right?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, and both companies have the 8 for people that don't want to spend the money. Yep. So, I mean, really, what we're looking at though, so $999. This is a very different design.
Here, I'll put it up
screen
on the live stream here in a second. So keep talking about it. I'll bring up a picture.
So it's exactly what we expected. Somewhat. I mean, as bezel-less as most phones, realistically.
Yeah.
It's essentially they got rid of the chin, got rid of almost all of the forehead.
Yep. I hate Apple's website.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I would just go back to the top. Go back to the first picture. Like, go back.
Well, it's just not a very quality picture because it's a 3D render, and it doesn't. It takes up more than the.
No, go back.
Oh, you mean just you want me to use...
this picture of from sideways, because at least you can see the whole thing.
Okay. I'll throw that up on stream for you guys.
And everyone other than Justin will know that it's a normal sized phone and not think it's giant, bigger than
everyone
a
other than who?
Justin.
Why would
I sent him a picture of like the screenshot of the stage. It was like like Tim Cook or like one of the people on stage.
Yeah.
And then the phone on the projector in the background. And he's like, "That's a really big phone."
That sounds like something Justin would say. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this is what it looks like, guys. It's a cool design. I personally hate this, and I feel like this is just my personal take. It's objective. You're subjective. You know. Take it as you will, but I think this is too large here. If you compare it to something like the Essential phone, it's a big cut down, and I don't like that. And I still feel like the bezels are too thick because they didn't...
Literally, he's the only person I've seen talk about the side bezels.
No, they bother me.
How much bigger are they than the LG phone that we're looking at buying?
No, they're not. No. I'm saying. Okay, what I'm saying is if they curved the screen like Samsung does, it gives the appearance... Okay, no, listen to me for a second. It gives the appearance of no bezel. And that's part of why I love the design of the S8 so much, is because you hold it and you think you're holding a screen with a top and bottom frame. None side at all whatsoever. So you don't think... None side. So you don't think you're holding anything.
Yeah. Now, question for you.
What's your
Why
question?
didn't you have that complaint about the LG phones that have the same exact thing?
No. Because it's already been done now. The
innovation... So wait. So when LG does something, it's fine. But when Apple does something...
No, I'm saying now that Samsung's done it, I'm not... No. I'm
okay,
not,
the V30...
No, listen, yes,
V30
I know, I'm getting the V30.
After.
I'm not saying that this is bad. Okay. I'm saying I prefer the other way.
I'm just saying, why didn't you bring this up at all with the V30?
Probably because I didn't think of it for whatever reason.
Yeah, you're nitpicking for the iPhone.
I mean, the design doesn't feel that great to me,
Did he just
honestly.
call you an iPhone enthusiast?
No, I called him an iPhone hater.
He called me both at the same time, Calvin.
No,
so anyway, I'm gonna switch back to the screen.
I'm just saying, like,
because you guys have seen that enough.
Yeah.
Everyone can hear us. You can hear us say no to each other. Yeah, just leave it. Leave it there by accident. Yeah. Leave the doc. I mean, I should just leave the doc.
Yeah.
We'll store the doc so they can read it while we're talking about it.
We don't even need to talk. We just have a 2-hour stream scrolling through the doc slowly.
Yep.
So for the rest of the phone, we've got it's a 5.8-inch total available screen real estate.
Yes.
And it's 1125.
So it's an S8 Plus when it comes to the screen size.
1125 by 2436 display. So
not
above
1440, but above 1080.
Yeah, which is fine.
I mean, it bugs me a little bit because I still feel like they're behind in the resolution race.
But
and
what does that extra resolution give you?
Slightly better image quality and the ability to play 1440p on YouTube. Okay. YouTube will not let you play higher than the resolution of your screen. Yeah. And that's part of the problem is you can't play 1440 on a screen that's just below 1440. YouTube won't do it, so you don't get the higher bitrate. So that's why the bitrate is the useful part. I'm not really so concerned about the resolution. Yeah.
But for the average user, they're not going to know that shit.
Right. Plus, that could be fixed. Anyway, that's my reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
So. It's also using the A11 Bionic. We meant to mention that the same chip that we talked about with the iPhone 8.
Yes.
So.
And it's more useful in this, but I'll talk about that in a moment. And then, so the screen resolution, pixel density-wise, it is higher than Retina display.
Yes, it's super
like
Retina.
Yeah.
Which is funny, actually. I find that term funny, because the original point behind the Retina term was the pixels are so small that your eye can't tell the difference. Except now they have Super Retina. The pixels are so much smaller that your eye can't... Wait, when are we going to stop? When are we going to call it something else, right?
No, now you can look at it closer while it's still...
Right, now you can... With your phone.
For VR.
Right, it's all about VR.
Yeah. No, Apple cares more about AR, which we will talk about in a second.
I'm pretty sure Apple doesn't care about VR at all.
Yeah, AR is where Apple's focusing. I scrolled down somehow.
Because you're a genius.
So, now for those looking at that big section up top and wondering, what's all that for?
Actually, before you say that, I want to throw one thing out. Guys, we do have some PC stuff coming up. There's just a lot of Apple stuff. Bear with us, please.
Once a year, you're going to get
a bunch of Apple
podcast from every single podcast. Linus Tech Tips is going to have theirs.
Yeah, everybody's going to have it. Yeah.
It's
and
the
so it's
Apple
just once a year, but I just want to mention that to anybody. You guys know this is primarily a PC news podcast with a little bit of gaming and a little bit of like mobile stuff thrown in.
Having Apple news in our tags gets us more views and likes, so get over it.
True. I didn't tag it either. I should probably do that.
You should. Or we're going to waste an hour talking about Apple news and not get you more views.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Especially now that I'm going full time, it's like, whew.
Yeah. So the reason for that big section up top, though, is Apple's doing Face Unlock.
A big speaker.
Yes.
Wait,
Apple's doing Face Unlock. But unlike Samsung, unlike everyone else, they're not just doing a camera.
Yep.
Not just a scan of a 2D image of your face.
And it's not Iris Unlock, which doesn't work on my eyes for whatever reason.
They are using cameras and infrared to do a full...
An infrared dot map.
Yes. To do a full 3D map of your face.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that way... It's, something where you can't hold up a picture.
Yeah, I admit it's cool tech, no matter how much I hate the idea of that over fingerprint unlock.
Yes, because there is no fingerprint unlock on the iPhone
at all.
X.
Yep.
Touch ID is dead.
Yeah, Touch ID is dead, at least for this iteration. I have a feeling they'll get it under the screen next time around if they can work out the kinks, but...
What I'm actually starting to think they might do is continue the two tier of phones.
Yeah.
Have the lower end one have Touch ID under the screen. Have the high end one only have face unlock.
Yeah, maybe so.
That way they can move to this similar screen design.
Right.
And then have other features specific to the high end one. Like maybe next year we'll have promotion only on the high end one.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Yeah, it's still anyway, I think it's cool tech no matter what. That we have this kind of quality of face 3D mapping built into a phone means it can be used for more things.
Yes.
More useful in my eyes is if Windows Hello can adopt this kind of tech, because Windows Hello depth sensing isn't very good. Yeah. And I like the idea of you sit down at your computer and it unlocks, you know?
Speaking of more things that can use the face scanning tech.
Yes, the 3D
emojis.
Yeah.
They have animated emojis, literally called Animojis, that track
Clever
your face.
naming.
Yeah. Track your face and allow you to be that. So you could be...
be the emoji.
Yeah, you could be a talking unicorn, you could be a talking lion, you could literally be talking poop.
I mean, that is great.
Talking poop is the reason I'm getting this.
Talking poop, and then you lay on the toilet.
American dream.
It's as Alex said, it's the American dream to be talking poop.
Yeah.
You know what's great? In America, people care about these kind of things.
Not really.
No, people do.
I saw most people saying that this was dumb and pointless.
Tech people, they're intelligent. They're not They're not normies.
Normies.
You know normies?
Yeah.
I don't know any normies.
That's weird. You work with normies.
I work with normies. That's true.
I talked to coworkers and they said it was dumb.
I don't know any normies.
Okay.
I work with them.
I don't personally know normies.
I actually did really enjoy the Animoji demo on stage. There was one of the guys on stage was sent an animated emoji to Tim Cook. Tim Cook responded with an animated version of the alien, and he said, "Take me to your leader. Oh wait, I am your leader." Because he runs the company.
Wait, Tim Cook from
Apple. Tim Cook runs Apple.
Oh,
that
is
is
So
that is
Tim Cook runs
worst.
Apple, and the person on stage doing the demo of the Animoji was like the head of the iPhone portion, I think, or high up there. And so he said something to Tim Cook, and Tim Cook responded with "Take me to your leader." Oh wait, I am your leader. Yeah,
good. That's pretty good, but it makes me sad too. It's like cringe, but okay cringe.
The other app that has announced integration of this functionality is Snapchat for some of their pre-existing face stuff. It's just going to be a lot better.
Yep.
So pretty cool there. Now, as far as the actual facial unlock goes, this is all very similar to Touch ID being stored on the Secure Enclave, the 3D map of your phone.
And it works flawlessly except on stage.
Yes. Well, they don't say it works flawlessly. 1 in a million. It just happens to be the first one.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much the first demo on stage, it messed up.
Yeah. Apparently it worked repeatedly when they were doing it on the show floor, though.
Now,
like,
to be fair, when the iPhone was first announced, Steve Jobs, when he was doing the on-stage demos, had to constantly switch between phones because they couldn't play music without crashing. The original iPhones, when they were first shown off, were absolutely garbage. They had to bring in a cell phone tower just to get, like a portable cell phone tower, to get calls to work. They had to fake the signal being at 5 bars.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of really interesting stuff with that. Like, it's not uncommon for them. There's a reason they're not releasing it today. It's because it's not ready.
It's not ready. Yeah.
So for pre-orders,
or at least the version that Tim Cook had wasn't ready.
Yeah. Pre-orders go live on the 27th for the X. But back to the
27th of
this month.
This month,
yeah.
But they come out in November.
Yeah.
Okay.
So back to the hardware for this. So since we don't have a home button, you might be wondering, how do you get home? So for those that have used the S8,
I mean, Google Maps, navigation,
Apple Maps, go off a cliff.
Yeah, that's true. Walk,
Bing Maps,
drive,
close the app and
helicopter,
get lost.
helicarrier.
Yeah.
Teleport.
So, yeah. So instead of having something like on the S8 where they use essentially 3D touch to have a virtual home button, what Apple's doing is saying, hey, let's take one of the actual legitimately best ways to handle home screen gestures, which is what the Palm did, a swipe up from the bottom. Yeah, we're just using that. So, literally what you'll do is from the very bottom of your screen, on when you're in an app, there'll be a little tiny black bar at the bottom.
Okay.
You just swipe up from the bottom.
Yep.
If you swipe all the way up, it takes you to the home screen. If you swipe halfway up, it pulls up your multitasking.
Well, yes, and hold.
Yeah,
and hold.
For a second.
Yeah. Alien Technology made a couple comments. He's saying he thinks that Apple will probably completely rid of the home button after one more model. I wouldn't be surprised about that at all. I mean, maybe honestly, even next time around. Yeah.
I think that because their end goal was face unlock anyway, they wanted fingerprint under the home screen to get people used to it. Since it wouldn't work, I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped it.
Yeah, if they just dropped the idea completely and just moved to this. Because Apple doesn't like to change too often. We all know that.
And they definitely don't want to roll back on them.
Right. Alien Technology is also saying that the problem with the demo was that it needed the password put in when you first turn it on. Touch ID does that now.
All phones with fingerprint sensors pretty much do that.
Correct. So what he's saying, though, that's why it didn't work on stage.
But we don't know. We didn't see them turn it on. So
we assumed that. Yeah. Okay.
And the dude who was doing the demo kind of was shaking for a second after that, like he was like, "Oh shit, I messed up."
Right.
So we don't know, but yeah, you do have a good point. That could have been it. However, then that's just Apple's incompetence. Like, how do you not turn it on and like unlock it
an hour before and then So why do you? Okay.
You guys, here I just turned this phone on. Here you go.
Yeah. Right.
So, but other than that, if you want to get to the different things, so we have swipe down from the right is control center, top left is notifications.
I know. Does that make any sense at all? That's what I read in multiple articles, including the Verge's.
There's a swipe down from the middle.
I'm guessing. I have a feeling that you can swap those two though. Because it wouldn't make sense to have control center on the right when 90%
control center where the icons are for your Wi-Fi and stuff. It actually does make sense.
But no, because every time somebody wants to look at the notifications, 90% of people are right-handed. They reach up with their thumb. They got to go over to the other side.
Yeah, but realistically, for half of using this phone, it's two-handed.
But even so, whenever I check notifications on my S8, I swipe down like that. Yeah. I slide the phone up and I swipe down just to look at it. And that's my fault.
Apple has in the past pretty much said use your other hand.
Yeah, I know, but still, I just feel like that's dumb. That just seems dumb to me.
The point of it, in my opinion, as to why they did that, is because that's
the visual
where the
representation. Yeah.
Apple likes doing things that visually make sense.
Yes. Sorry about the background chatter, guys, but yes.
You know what they say about big hands, guys?
I don't know how big
they wear big gloves.
Trying to steal my shit over here?
Yeah. So yeah, not double the battery. Oh, double the battery versus 7. Are you sure? Why are you doing that?
I have no idea why I'm putting my hand on the mic. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So they're claiming double battery life on the X versus the standard 7.
That would also mean that the 8 got a massive battery life upgrade because I heard them say on stage 2 hours more.
The iPhone X is a little bit thicker than the 8.
Yeah.
So meaning they probably did put a bigger battery in it.
Yeah, I mean it's a premium device.
Yeah, so I'm guessing though if they increase the battery size by say 25%, or no, it'd be like 50 to 60% because we're talking versus the standard size 7. Yeah, and this is bigger than the 7 Plus.
But efficiency. They could be counting on
I agree with that. I'm saying though that they have the room. They could have made the battery way bigger plus efficiency. So we'll have to just wait and see till battery life tests come out for the 8 because they didn't claim that with the 8. They didn't claim massive battery improvements with the 8 as far as I understand. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. So I might not be mostly efficiency. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll see. But
well, there goes the first hour of Apple News though. So Apple News. Now no more Apple News.
It's Ethan with Apple Tech.
Hi guys, it's Ethan from Apple Tech. Wait, that's probably a name. I don't know. I've never heard of that. I don't own a company named that. Okay.
Yeah, because you're totally gonna get sued.
I don't want to get sued. Okay.
Apple calls him right now.
Hey, you can't use that name.
No. It's just you're sued.
Yeah, just money. Yeah. Okay, so
hang on. One last thing I do want to mention.
One last thing.
I am surprised that they didn't talk about the HomePod. I legitimately expected that to be
launched
at this. Yeah, they didn't even mention its existence.
I would think at least it's $10 cheaper now, guys, or something.
I would have thought they would have said, "Hey, it exists. We're working on it still."
Yeah, but nothing. So maybe they're just wait a minute.
Yeah. I don't Yes, it's still water resistant.
I don't think we missed anything really.
Yeah, for setting up face unlock, you literally just like tilt your head a couple times and then you're done. Yeah, that's about it. Okay.
Woo! Oh, shake your hair. Whip
sorry.
Your hair back and
on
forth.
the iPhone X, we didn't talk about cameras.
No, we talked about the camera on the 8, and the X has the same camera.
No, it does not. The secondary camera's better.
Is it?
Yes.
Really?
The secondary camera on the X is better than the secondary camera on the Plus.
Okay.
They both have OIS.
I read that they were virtually the same thing.
They both have OIS.
I thought they did on the 8,
I don't think so.
I want to do some research on this. Keep talking about
But I also know that it has an f2.4 aperture instead of 2.8.
Okay.
Let me check something else. I thought there was something.
I'm looking at a comparison right now to between the two. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so the telephoto portrait lens on the iPhone X's dual camera has a better aperture than the iPhone 8 Plus, f2.4 versus f2.8, so a wider aperture, meaning it lets in more light. Do we know? Are these are generally fixed aperture, right?
On the iPhone 8 Plus, only the primary camera does.
Of the optical. Okay. Yes. So you were totally right.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder, am I correct in smartphones have a fixed aperture?
Yes.
Okay.
Because aperture when you
I know what aperture is, right? I mean, I'm just saying they don't have any sort of mechanical adjustment for that. Then it's just a fixed aperture. Okay.
Yeah. It's just glass.
So the only way that you're getting like proper blurs and stuff is through, that would be through like ISO adjustments and stuff.
The blur that comes from having low apertures.
Yes, but I'm saying.
But for any changes to that, yes, it's coming from things like portrait mode. Just reminded me of one other thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Really awesome feature in my opinion. So for those that don't know, they've already had portrait mode, which is like where you can take a picture and then adjust the depth later.
Yeah.
Now they have what's called portrait lighting, which is effectively taking a picture in pretty much RAW or a RAW-like format.
Okay.
That captures pure light data, and you can go in a very Apple-esque UI, very easy to use, and change some of the lighting settings. So you can change it to like a studio lighting or an outdoor lighting.
Right.
In other words, you don't have to think about what lighting settings are on.
Better selfies.
Well, not just for selfies, for general photography.
Yeah.
You just, I need to take a picture. Take the picture. Well, you wouldn't like this, but take the picture and then adjust later.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Which is
in
cool. My opinion,
I mean, that's
awesome.
been around with
that.
log grading and stuff.
Yeah,
so they're
but
basically
it's very
doing
easy
that.
to use. That's what I'm saying. Is
Yeah,
Apple's once again doing it just works attitude, which is for something like this, I think very cool.
I think it's cool.
And I don't know why someone like Samsung couldn't have done that sooner.
Yeah. Also, Alien Technology says they might have another event for like the MacBooks and HomePod. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, but I mean, still,
MacBook
it's
Pro
weird to
now
see.
with 3 lightning ports.
Well, it already has 4. Come on, bro.
I know it's gonna go down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, it'll have a lightning port in the screen.
If any, Thunderbolt.
We said
lightning.
We both said lightning. I
if,
wish it had lightning ports. They're so much more useful.
If anything, probably a real Mac Pro announcement end of this year. I would hope for.
That's exciting.
With a launch in spring, that would be dope.
Yes. Another trash can.
LG's 49-inch ultrawide.
You mean Philips 49-inch ultrawide?
Same thing.
They're not the same thing, buddy.
Close enough.
LG has been the master of ultrawide for a while.
Why are they making 49-inch ultrawide light bulbs?
I'm done with this podcast, guys. Podcast over. No. Okay,
I'm gonna go play Destiny.
Philips is going to be releasing
again
next year a 49-inch ultra-wide monitor. Yes, 49-inch ultra-wide, 32:9 aspect ratio. So we're talking really
So we're
wide.
talking 2 16:9 stuck together, literally.
Correct. Yes, literally next to each other. And what's so good about that? All right, you guys need to stop. We're trying to do a podcast here. Sorry, we have a little bit of irritation in the background, guys.
He does. I think it's funny.
So anyway, yeah. So you guys may have seen Samsung's super ultra wide monitor that was also a 49-inch. This is the same thing. I'll show a picture of it here in a moment. But it's looking like it's probably going to be around $1,000 when it comes out next year.
Does this have HDR?
I'll get to that. 3840 by 1080p. Right, so it's still a 1080p panel. Again, it's 216:9 took together. It is curved. They didn't release the curve ratio that I could find. It's got 600 nits of brightness and 5,000:1 contrast ratio. There was no reports of FreeSync or G-Sync. Now, it's not going to have HDR, because HDR standards require 1,000 nit brightness to be reached. Generally.
So that is one thing where
one of the HDR standards does.
Yeah, that is one thing where Samsung's has an advantage.
Correct. Samsung's is HDR, and FreeSync 2. They can't do FreeSync 2 on this because it doesn't reach whatever HDR spec FreeSync 2 is using. Is it HDR 10? I think it's HDR 10. Requires 1,000 nit brightness. And this can't reach 1,000 nit brightness, so it probably won't get that unless they can improve the panel. 5,000 to 1 contrast ratio. And a gigabit Ethernet port.
Dope.
Why do you need a gigabit Ethernet on a monitor? I don't understand. But here, I'll show you guys a picture of it.
How many USB ports does it have?
Several. I didn't check exactly.
You could theoretically use this as a hub.
I mean, you could use it as a hub, but but I don't see why for gigabit Ethernet when you have to run the cable up there anyway.
No, so you have gigabit Ethernet going from your router to your monitor. You have your keyboard and mouse plugged into the monitor. You come in, plug in the monitor to the laptop. There you go.
Oh, I see what you're saying, like a docking type system. Yeah, okay. It has one display port. Let's see. One has DVI, 2 HDMIs, 2 USB 3.0 Type A connectors. So nothing that major.
1800R curvature.
1800R curvature. All right, cool.
According
I'm going to throw it up
PC
on screen really fast so you guys can see this. That's what it looks like. It is massive. I like ultra-wides, but I don't know if I'd want this big of an ultra-wide, even for editing purposes. But who knows? Maybe I'll consider it. I don't know. I was planning to get a 1440 ultra-wide for doing editing, but we'll see. So, yeah, it looks like a cool monitor. I think it's exciting. Here's a good picture of 2 of them right here. So, again, I mean, that you're getting 4 in this image. This is two of them on top of each other, but you're getting 4 1080p 16:9 monitors in here. That's pretty useful for data analysis, video editing. I mean, it could be useful for editing in my eyes. So, I don't know. It's something to consider, but I don't know if I would personally want it this wide for gaming, but for editing it might be useful.
And I mean, as you see on screen, it's going to be big for, like, data analysis and stock and things like that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. So it's interesting. The gigabit Ethernet port still confuses me in a way, because it doesn't seem to have, like, it's not like it doesn't have, like, USB-C and stuff on it.
It does.
No, it
doesn't have Thunderbolt. It has USB-C.
Whoops. No, it was USB 3.0 Type A.
I think it also has a Type-C.
Not according to this article. 3.5mm input and output. Gigabit Ethernet to USB 3.0 Type A. That's all this is saying.
I saw something with USB-C.
And a gigabit Ethernet. Okay. I'm on
USB-C.
an Antec.
It's in the title.
Oh, they didn't list it in the actual specs.
It's weird. In the connectivity capabilities on it. Look rather good. The monitor has a display port, HDMI port, and a USB Type-C input.
Oh, okay.
So,
interesting.
A D-sub connector as well. Built-in dual USB 3.0 and
as an Ethernet hub. Yeah. Okay. That actually makes sense. Okay.
USB-C acts like an upstream port for both.
Okay.
So the hub and the Ethernet. Or for the ports, USB 3 and the Ethernet.
Okay, interesting. It's a cool design. I mean, I think it's cool to see monitors branching out further and further every time a monitor is released, right? So I do like to see that.
Yep. Now we need 64:9.
I know, we just need to keep getting bigger. 128:9. It's just like 5 feet wide.
No, we need a circular monitor that you have to, like, crawl to get into.
Ooh, I love the idea. Yeah,
or
it's just a circle.
Mount it to the roof and have it come down around you when you get ready to game. That way you're on a swivel chair.
Right, and you're
your keyboard and mouse are mounted to it.
So you can just be like, and somebody's behind you,
and then
you just run like 1 DPI, and you just go all the way around to turn all the way around.
It uses face tracking and eye tracking to see where you're looking.
Oh, okay.
Or at least face tracking to see where your head is, and that's your look. So you just
see, that would be really hard though, and you'd end up breaking things like you just did there.
I didn't break anything.
You broke everything. Okay, so anyway,
okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting. So more PC news. We got a lot. We got a pretty good pile here actually. So we gotta keep going. It's a pile of poop emojis, right?
Animated ones.
Poop emojis.
Yeah.
Okay. So the 8700K benchmarks have been leaked. People are excited for this because 6 core, right? It's probably going to be overpriced and not worth it, just warning you guys. And you're going to have to buy a new motherboard, and those motherboards are going to be more expensive than the AMD platform. But the single core performance will be really good, and you still get 6 cores. So if you're doing just gaming and maybe streaming and stuff, it could potentially be a good option. So anyway, the 8700K has 2 benchmarks were leaked, Cinebench and Geekbench. And these basically seem to be completely confirmed. So the Cinebench multi-score is 1230 CB for the multi-score and 196 CB for the single core. If you compare that, what's up?
Ryan Shrout, early Cinebench numbers for the 8700K are wrong, just FYI, as of 9:32 a.m. on September 11th.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't actually see his tweet then.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know who Ryan Shrout is, he's the owner of PC Per. So I trust them like they're the gods of PC. So
yeah,
full
he
credit
wouldn't
to
come
them.
out and
he
just
wouldn't say that
it's
unless
wrong.
he knew.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a moot point. Never mind.
Next topic.
8700K benchmarks were not leaked properly. Let's go.
Yeah.
Wait, let me see when this article was posted on Video Cards, because their leaks are usually good. I wonder if this came after. I wonder if there was other leaks. I don't see a date on the article, though. I'm looking. I hate companies that don't obviously date their articles. It's really annoying. 3 days ago. Okay, yep, they were wrong.
Yeah.
That was September. Okay, cool. Okay, so, more PC news. People are freaking out. Raja Kaduri is taking a leave until December while Lisa Su takes over Radeon Technologies Group. Oh my goodness fucking gracious. This is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Wow, he's taking a vacation after they released a new product like most big company high-ups do.
Now, so I was reading some of the comments on the AMD subreddit, and just to try and get a feel for why people were freaking out so much.
Yeah.
For one, part of it was they thought that because this information got out that it was being announced, which would be odd.
Right.
And also because per what we saw of his notice,
Yeah.
he is going to be shifting his role around a little bit when he comes back. So he's going to be gone until pretty much close to the end of the year. And when he comes back, his primary focus is going to be on GPU architecture rather than the business side.
Yeah, which I think makes a lot of sense.
Honestly, that sounds fantastic to me.
I think so, because that's what they need.
And he should take a break. This is probably the best time to do it, right after they release
something. They're not working on that much right now. Right.
Yeah.
So,
and Lisa Su's not going to change much because clearly if he's coming back to do architectural work, they have a plan.
Yeah, Lisa Su's probably just working on management stuff, trying to get... Lisa Su's a genius. So I believe if anything comes from this, it's only going to be good.
If she's going to change up anything, it should be fixing the Radeon Group's fucking PR division.
It's going to be fixing a lot of Radeon Group stuff, yeah. I think Lisa Su's a genius. She turned AMD's CPU division around. I'm sure she can change RTG around management-wise. She's so good at that, and she hires the right people. And, we saw when Lisa Su, I actually predicted that she would be that she was the perfect person for the job. I remember talking about it. I can't remember if it was just amongst friends or if we talked about it on a WordCast. But I remember talking about it, saying how important she was and how she was going to fix everything. And people were like, I don't know if AMD can be saved at this point. Fucking look at what happened. She's a genius. She knows what she's doing. She saved that company. Period. She saved AMD. She came in and she saved AMD. Now, part of that maybe is thanks to them hiring Jim Keller because he's an amazing CPU architect. But she saved AMD. I give her credit for that. Yeah. And so I trust whatever happens to RTG, if she's taking any kind of control over it, it's going to be for good reason.
Now, one other thing I want to mention, because there's a thread on the subreddit for AMD talking about how Kaduri is going to hint that AMD is going to be shifting focus to GPU architecture. And there's been a lot of talk, and someone's mentioning, I don't know the validity of it because I'm not going to pull up an investor meeting, but they're saying that essentially during the last presentation the RTG did to investors, he essentially admitted that since Hawaii, they've kind of been on autopilot.
Yeah.
Very likely because AMD wanted to focus their money on
CPU division.
Yeah. Zen.
Yeah.
And after
they were even
Hawaii,
further behind
they
in,
got
so
the
it makes
console
sense.
wins. The console wins are probably going to generate a ton of money.
They already have.
Yeah.
And they will continue to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we're going to see good GPU stuff from AMD next year.
Yeah.
This year was, again, like you said, autopilot. Like, Hawaii
year,
was a good architecture other than its heat output.
I'm thinking it's probably going to be 2 years from now until we get the next, architecture change. I think that's going to be when we see... If we can
Naples, or not Naples. We're both losing it now.
Yeah.
Oh, what's it called? Oh, man, not Naples. What's the next
Navi.
one? Navi. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, listen.
Hey, listen, that was... why can't I just remember that? Anyway, so Navi architecture...
Yeah, if that can be the Zen of the Radeon
I think whenever
group,
that comes out, that's what it will be.
Yeah.
Because when you look at Vega as an architecture...
Especially with focusing on architecture.
Yes. When you look at Vega as an architecture and its compute performance and stuff like that, it's actually not bad. It's just not power efficient, and it has a lot of fucking heat output. If they can fix those things...
And the dies are too big.
Yes, that's
That makes
true.
it hard to be profitable.
Yes. And that also has higher heat output and
Yeah.
stuff. But if they can fix those things, but keep the same architecture, so to speak, right? The same idea behind it, and then do better optimization with games, they really have something here. Like, Vega's not bad, and I'm sick of people saying that Vega's bad. It's not a good gaming card. But when you look at Vega on the server front and on other compute fronts where flops are all that matters, wow, is Vega really good, huh?
What?
Mining? What? I've never heard of mining. What's this mining you speak of? But anyway, yeah. So, I mean, any area where compute matters, they're actually pretty good when it comes to the performance per dollar and performance per watt. That's why they're using them in servers. Performance per watt matters quite a bit there. And so... It's just they're not good for gaming, and that's for a wide variety of reasons, both architectural, optimization, drivers, etc., etc. So I want to clear the room, clear the air on that. No,
Clear the room. Okay, guys, get out.
guys, clear the room. No, that you know, Vega's not a bad architecture. It's bad for gaming.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's pretty much what I commented on with someone who was saying, you know, oh, it is good. Architecture performance for compute, and I'm like, yeah, but on the AMD subreddit, gaming performance is
yes, exactly, yeah. So next piece of news: G-Skill, 4600 megahertz DDR4.
No.
Okay, no. Okay, so guys, it's running. The cast latencies are 19, 23, 23, 43. Pretty solid cast latency there. So, 4600 megahertz. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. You can expect to pay like between $1,000 and $1,500 for 64 gigs is what I would guess. You know what but this is all speculation. The pricing is not confirmed. Yeah. The specs are confirmed.
What I think is hilarious about this, and I get why, like I don't think that Vega's in a place where it would be able to work. Not Vega.
Zen, yeah.
Ryzen. Yet, I mean, they've had issues with RAM speed already.
Yeah.
I think that... But it's going on the platform that's least going to be able to take advantage of it, which is Intel.
Yeah, like realistically, AMD makes more sense. It'd be a
so
big deal.
Better.
Yeah, it'd be a big deal. So, I don't know. We'll see, though. I mean, you can plug it into an AMD board, and potentially, I mean, we know that those chips can hit 4600 megahertz. So if you can get a board that can allow you to overclock and pump enough voltage at the thing to keep it stable at 4600, you could do it on an AMD platform. It's just not XMP compliant.
Yeah.
For AMD. So they're hand-selected Samsung chips. So they actually test them by hand, make sure they're the best chips possible. They're running at 1.5 volts, which is fairly high for DRAM, but still, you know, you expect that with 4600 megahertz. XMP 2.0 support, meaning this is not 4600 megahertz like overclockability that you can guarantee to reach. Like, you turn on XMP 2.0 on an Intel like X299 platform, and it just runs at 4600 megahertz. It just does it. That's impressive. Again, no pricing yet, but I would guess between $1,000 and $1,500 for a 64 gig kit. But they chose the right platform to design this around. G-Skill is actually pretty good about that, designing RAM that is both universal, but then also sometimes focusing on a specific platform. Yeah, you know, they have some of both, and they picked the right platform because if you're gonna go spend $2,000 on a CPU and $600 on a motherboard, you probably don't mind spending $1,500 on RAM.
I mean, you don't mind spending $1,500 on RAM anyway.
Okay, I wouldn't, but I also can't afford that. I'm sorry. I'm focusing on my Threadripper system. Let's be real. I'm not going to spend $1,000.
You just shave off $1,000. You could probably put that on RAM.
But no, I would prefer to bump up to 128 gigs of pretty high-speed RAM than 64 gigs of really high-speed RAM for even more money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I think my favorite part about this is
more RAM for productivity is what matters. Yeah. You know?
I think my favorite part about the 4600 megahertz RAM is that before this you had to use like liquid nitrogen or water cooling
to hit those kind of speeds. Yeah, DDR4 is awesome. So this is cool. Yeah. I think it's exciting, but you know, I mean, I'm a RAM whore. I'll admit that. I use a lot. So the more RAM, the better. 40 gigs is starting to feel a little bit limiting on my laptop. So my new system's Threadripper system is going to start with 32, but very quickly be upgraded to 64, and shortly after that to 128 gigs.
And then 256.
No, because 128 is fine.
When Samsung has their Optane competitor.
Right, yes. No, 128 gigs is a lot of RAM. I'm excited for that. But I mean, if I'm going to be realistic though, if I'm going to be transcoding footage to Cineform 4K with media encoder and rendering on Premiere Pro, as well as like maybe doing other file conversions and all kinds of stuff, like RAM makes sense. Plus I have 40 tabs at any given time. But I mean, I can use that RAM because even with Premiere Pro, like I'm pushing like 36 gigabytes usage, and it could use more. Yeah. What's up? Comment?
Yeah. He was talking about 970.
Oh, okay.
And upgrading. I would say Vega 56 personally for what card you should get.
If you can get a Vega 56 for the MSRP of $400, that is definitely the card to go with to upgrade over a 970, especially because you have a FreeSync monitor, but also because even though, yes, it uses a little more power, actually quite a bit more power, and it puts out a little bit more heat, it is better performing than the 1070 in almost every game. There are a few times where it's not, where the 1070 will beat it.
And in compute.
But yes, it's also better at compute, so if you're doing any kind of productivity stuff, it'll be better at that, unless it's CUDA only productivity, keep that in mind. But yeah, 970, if you're looking to upgrade Vega 56 for a FreeSync, if you have a FreeSync monitor already, that's especially a good idea to upgrade to Vega 56. Yeah. Vega 64 is probably not worth the money. Also, fun thing, if you're willing to take the little bit of a risk, you can flash the Vega 64 BIOS to the Vega 56, allowing you to push the power limit higher, because Vega 64 requires more power because it has more shader units. So then you can push the power higher and actually get a decently better overclock out of it, assuming you're willing to dump 400 watts at your GPU alone. So meaning upgrade to Vega 56, especially because you have a FreeSync monitor, but please have like at least a 700 watt power supply, and if you're planning to flash a BIOS and overclock, I'd recommend pushing it to like an 850 to 1000 watt power supply for that. Yeah. Does depend on the rest of your system, but you know that'd be a good upgrade for you over the 970, and it's still better than a 1070. So, Felipe says he would personally get a Vega 69.
Well, when AMD sells that, I'll buy it.
Yeah, when AMD sells a Vega 69, you know who's gonna be buying that? These two guys right here.
No, you just want Lisa Sue's Vega 69.
Whoa! We're not gonna be saying those things
her
live.
personal graphics card.
Oh, okay.
You want one signed by her?
Yes,
let's be real. Okay, if you could have a graphics card signed by the CEO of AMD.
If I could shake the hand to the CEO of AMD, I would probably faint, dude. Yeah. Come on. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, Vega 69. I like that, Felipe. Thank you for the comment. But where's your controversial question? We're towards the end of the podcast.
What's our food topic?
Like, what's our food topic, Felipe? Come on, you're supposed to ask us a question about.
At this point, food topics are just a segment.
Yeah, right. We have our food topic somewhere in there. Yeah. As long as Felipe shows up.
Yeah. Until then, hard drives.
Hard drives. Coming from the data whore, the data hoarder over here.
Who has less storage than me.
I'm sick of that, because how much of your storage do you use? Let's be real.
Right now, not as much. I'm increasing those.
You're increasing that, but so am I, and I'm also building a 32 terabyte NAS in December. I understand the ing is the important part there. Yeah. Shut up.
To be fair, I have another way to take advantage of having free space, which is actually profitable.
And you also call me the data whore anyway. Yeah. Yo, I love hard drives. I love hard drives. It doesn't matter if I actually need the storage. I like touching hard drives. I like mounting a massive amount of hard drives in a computer. Something about it is just woo! Anyway, so Western Digital released a 12 terabyte HDD. Before I get into the specs, it's about fucking time. HGST and I think Hitachi have already, I think Seagate have already had these.
How does Hitachi put those in? Never mind.
Anyway, so this is the new WD Gold lineup is what the 12 terabyte falls into. They have 6, 8, I think 2 different 8 terabyte variants, 10 and 12 terabyte options for these drives. They're helium filled, as you would expect for such a high capacity drive. Until HAMR becomes a big thing, we're gonna have to do that helium filled.
Until you take a hammer and hit your hard drive with it, you need helium.
Do I really need to explain on the stream what HAMR is right now? I could go on for an hour.
No.
Okay.
You know that I know what it is.
I know you know what HAMR is, but our viewers don't know what HAMR is.
Oh well.
Seagate has a way of potentially fitting 50 terabytes on a standard hard drive. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
Use flash storage instead of hard drives.
It doesn't increase the cost. You could buy a $100 hard drive with like 30 terabytes. Come on. All right. HAMR's going to be a big deal.
Let's not talk about hard drives because you're going to have an aneurysm.
Do you want to talk about HAMR for a while? Are you sure?
Wait, when's your blip coming out about it?
Oh God, I haven't made a blips about Hammer. Why isn't that like that should be my first one?
Oh
I read like the whole Wikipedia page and like 10 other articles on what Hammer was. I know everything about Hammer. Why in the world? All right, guys. The next episode of Blips is gonna be Hammer. I'm filming that this weekend.
You don't even need a script. You can just.
I can just talk about it. I can just talk about it. I don't need notes. I can just talk about it. Oh, anyway.
Man, I'm just gonna give you suggestions for Blips because I guess I'm better at coming up.
No, I'm good at coming up with episodes of Blips too. Okay, and then
You haven't done Hammer.
I know. I feel like an idiot, but I was gonna do something related to like a specific motherboard component, like a DAC or something like that.
Burritos or tacos?
Oh, Felipe has a question this time. Don't worry. Oh, let me finish the WD news before we answer that important question. Okay, so 2.5 million hours mean time before failure. Mm-hmm. That's massive there. And high vibration resistance. So they're designed for basically heavy workload data centers. So what that tells me is they're high performance and high durability drives, which don't usually cross over as much. Like for example, the Western Digital Reds, which I'm planning to put in my NAS, are great for 24/7 operation and reliability. Not necessarily the best when it comes to performance, right? They're not bad, but they're not the best. So this seems like the best of both worlds. It's almost like you take black and red and you put them together and you get gold, right? That's how it works. So,
I have a question for you.
What's your question?
Why is it that it seems like 256 megabytes is like the highest for cache?
I don't think much more cache benefits speeds much. That's why.
But it's not like the PC industry has ever cared about diminishing returns.
Okay, well, that's true. Part of it is because once you get into more cache than that, you're at a point where you should maybe just dump in a hybrid drive and just do, like, 10 gigabytes of flash.
Why don't they have high-end hybrid drives?
I'm not sure why the hybrid drive thing died, to be honest. I mean, Optane. Look at Optane. It's kind of bringing that idea back. I don't know why hybrid drives have kind of gone away. I kind of got why
it died in the low end, because you might as well, it was in that weird
great
borderline
until SSDs got cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't get why they don't do something like that for...
I would love to see like a 32 gigabyte SSD mounted on top of a 12 terabyte hard drive,
or even
for quality caching.
Like 256 gig SSD, 12 terabyte drive.
Right, yeah.
Like you're spending
something crazy.
How much money
you're
on that?
Spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I also think part of the problem is it's not going to benefit like data centers and stuff much. Yeah. They look a lot of times for like consistent reads and writes, and they have things spread across so many drives, so it makes things like that more complicated. Okay, but for consumer stuff, I mean, I bigger cache and a bigger cache could still benefit data center, I suppose. But I mean, think about it. Like cache is mostly for small reads and writes. It's not as much for like long sequential large data, and so that's why the cache probably isn't going to be as big of a deal in data centers and stuff because they're writing massive amounts usually.
But do bananas in a custom loop help temperatures?
Okay, we're going to answer all your important comments in a moment. Almost done here. So they're all running at 7,200 RPM, SATA 6 gigabits per second. We've got a 6 terabyte, an 8 terabyte with 256 megs of cache, an 8 terabyte with 128 megs of cache. And sorry, the 6 terabyte was also 128 megs of cache. And the 10 and 12 terabyte are both 256 megs of cache. So there are two 8 terabytes there. It's just a caching difference there. Probably an extra $10 or something like that. Yeah. So the 2.5 million hour mean time before failure is a big deal though. Because I mean, if you look at like, let's say a Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte drive on Newegg, what is the MTBF for these? Watch it not be listed on this one spec sheet. They're always listed. Watch this one be the one where it's not listed. It's not listed. Alright, I want to find this out.
We have important questions to get to.
We have important questions, but I want to know what the MTBF of the 1 terabyte is.
What even is that?
Mean time before failure. How many hours it can run guaranteed before failing.
But does that matter?
It does matter. No, it doesn't matter at all. When hard drives fail, it doesn't matter. I'm guessing it's probably... Maybe it's 500,000? I can't remember. Anyway, 2.5 million hours. Big deal. Okay, so you got some important questions here, and then we got a little bit more news for you guys. So, important questions. So, Felipe asks, burritos or tacos? I mean, realistically, like, burritos because you can fit more in them.
They're not authentic.
I don't care about authentic. He asked a question.
Let me answer.
Okay, answer.
Burritos at Chipotle. Tacos everywhere else.
Okay. Actually...
Because you get more food in overall by getting burritos than you do getting tacos.
I will agree with you on that, actually. Tacos tend to taste better. They have better flavoring. So I will agree with you on that. It depends on what your goal is. If you're looking for a large amount of food in one handful, you want to go with a big burrito.
But it's not like you eat the whole burrito at once.
What if you do?
Then you have a problem. A very big problem.
A big burrito problem. But anyway, yeah. So I'd say it depends on the situation, but mostly tacos. It's burritos if you're looking to get a lot.
Yeah.
So, sensible there.
Can't you just get like 40 tacos? Exactly.
Okay, that's a good point. You could get a lot of tacos.
Just go to Taco Bell, get a taco 12 pack.
Yep. I will agree with that. Okay. So let's see. Joe says he'll take how much cash does his RAM have? Wait. I'm not sure what the question is there, Joe. I'm sorry.
How much cash does RAM have?
RAM doesn't have... RAM is cash!
No,
he might have been trolling me. I'm not sure.
Random access memory is what RAM stands for, not cash. It doesn't start with a C.
Okay, but if you take R, A, and M, and you cut a whole bunch of stuff out, you could probably use the lines to make a C.
No.
Yes.
Not unless you reduce the font size.
Man. Oh, man. Also, Joe asked, do bananas in a custom loop help the temperatures? I mean... I would assume. I mean, people put silver.
Can we get Jay to do that video?
That'd be great. People put silver in a custom loop, to prevent algae growth. But if you want algae growth in your system, so you can have that nice green-looking goop in your system without having to use like dyes and stuff, just put banana in your loop. It'll probably grow algae really quick. Leave it open to the air, give it a month or so, and you'll have this nice green buildup of stuff in there that'll just, that way you don't have to pay for green fluid. You just buy a banana.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
I am a banana.
Yeah. We know it.
Yes, I was triggered, Joe. You're right. I was triggered.
Oh, he was
I get triggered about storage because I don't know why, but I love storage way more than, like, basically anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, my Threadripper system's going to have 16 terabytes in it.
Ladies, if you ever want to land a date with this hottie, just bring him some hard drives.
Yes, please. Woo! Thank you.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, I mean, those two 8-terabyte drives will be in RAID 0 for games and other things like that. They will not. That's not my main storage for videos. That'll be on a 32-terabyte NAS that will have room to upgrade to 64 if I need to.
Yeah.
Yes, Yes, the swamp build. We need to do that. We need to do a swamp build. What happens when you put banana in a loop? You get swamp build.
We have to drain the swamp.
Oh, we're gonna. Ooh! I know we can get somebody in specific to do that isn't potentially high up somewhere in a country. Okay. We don't talk politics on the show, Daniel.
I didn't. I said we.
I didn't either. I'm just saying that's why I didn't.
You have to drain loops at some point.
That's true. You have to drain the swamp, right? RAID 0, your RAM disk. Oh, that triggers me too.
Why? Like real talk.
You make like multiple RAM disks,
yeah, so
and then you use software RAID.
You have 128 gigs of RAM,
and so you do two 32 gigabyte RAM disks, and then you software RAID
Overwatch
them.
On it.
Then you software RAID them and throw Overwatch. That way, you get into that match at the same speed as SSDs.
You always get your character.
You do realize that would actually probably slow it down. Why? Because the CPU is what handles software RAID, right? And so you don't have a dedicated RAID controller. The CPU probably can't handle the data that fast.
Why doesn't somebody make one that has RAM?
Yes, let's go invest a bunch of R&D money into making a RAM RAID chip, RAID controller. Come on, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Get good, noob.
Oh, boy.
Nice glasses, yo.
More news. PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, is getting fog.
Whoop-de-fucking-do.
Whoop-de-fucking-do. Actually, I think this is really cool. Plus some new weapons and a new town added.
Well, your opinion is fucking...
Vaulting information is not provided. I think the fog's super cool because I always get shot running in a field. And, even though it's part of the skill of the game, I don't want to have to work hard to not be shot in a field.
I know you don't. But now you can get shot because someone will see you go into the fog, and you won't know where the fuck they are because you can't see them.
But they can't see you either, so nobody gets shot.
But if they know where you're going, and most of the time, if you're going somewhere, you're running
But
straight.
no, the whole map will be foggy. That's what you have to understand. It's like the same thing with rain. The rain and darkness goes across the whole map. I'm actually excited for this. I think this will be cool because I get triggered when I'm running through a field. I think nobody's nearby because I need to get to a building because there's no buildings anywhere, and I get shot in the head.
Yeah.
That triggers
me. Essentially, easy mode for this loser.
Easy mode's okay with me, to be honest.
I know. In fact, if you could just have like an aimbot, you might actually enjoy the game.
Okay.
I need aimbot. I need wall hacks.
If you get all the hacks, you'll like the game.
In fact, I should just have a button that gives me the win.
It literally is
it's a kill command for everybody.
Yeah.
It just kills everybody but you.
No, you actually you jump out of the plane first, trap them in the plane, let it run out of fuel, and it crashes, and then you win.
You win, dude. That's the real skill.
You
That's what I would do.
You just have to stay within the circle until the plane runs out of fuel and crashes.
Yep.
You'd probably still lose and blame the game.
I don't blame games when I lose. What are you talking about?
Wouldn't it technically actually be the game's fault at that point?
No, he just has to like stay within the circle.
Yeah.
If he fails to do that, he dies before everyone else. Is what
It's
I'm
the
saying.
game's fault. The circle got small too fast.
The idea would be that the plane, he would be able to get out of the plane. Everyone else would be trapped.
Okay.
Everyone else would die eventually because the plane would just fly around until it runs out of fuel and crashes.
But I would be in the circle.
Yeah, he would be on the ground. He'd have to stay within the circle. Eventually, he just has to outlast the plane.
But what if the circle gets to like a millimeter? You can't be inside the millimeter.
Presumably, they would design this so that the plane would crash before that.
But you're talking about cheating. They didn't design it at all.
What I'm saying is that this needs to be a mode for you.
A mode
That way you
for me.
enjoy it.
It's called... They'll just use AI.
It's called Ethan from WordTech here.
Hi guys, Ethan from WordTech, back with another video. You guys do the point. Back with another video, guys. Okay, so, new weapons and a new town. What are the weapons?
Who cares?
Why don't you know?
Okay,
Because-
let me sit on this because I actually know about
Okay, get over here. Just come crouch.
No, I'm not going to sit on the side.
You're not gonna come crouch. You're gonna make one of us get up.
Yeah, this is a two-man show. You can get up or you can get out.
Do you want to get up?
No.
I always
I
get
play
up.
it more than you do.
I always get up.
That's
You
because
don't even know what you're talking about.
What do you mean? I know what PUBG is.
The reason that you always get up is because I play more video games than you, and we're bringing in a guy specifically to talk about gaming.
Calvin doesn't know anything about gaming.
When we bring in Tyler, I'll get the fuck up.
He just walks away. All right, I'll give you the seat, Calvin. I'm sorry.
No. We need to bring in Alex. Talk about
Alex
PUBG.
be like, hey, let's talk about like computers, and he'd be like, I'll RAM your disk.
Floppy drives.
Oh. Let me ram your disc. Let me just knock the table over.
Well, this just took an interesting turn.
Alright, so basically, you don't even have the fucking thing open.
Of course not. I have it open.
Yeah, he didn't though. Yeah, so basically what they're doing is the vaulting, they're still talking about it, it's just coming in a future patch, so we don't know exactly when the patch is.
Never.
It's just being put on the...
Like, literally, my most anticipated thing is vaulting, and I'm not getting it.
Well, I mean, it's one thing that they have to work out pretty well. I mean, you can still vault through Windows effectively on live. It's just the window has to be open. You have to be able to do it
It
correctly.
looks so cool, though, in their demos.
It does.
Just give me that.
Okay.
It's an early access game. If it has bugs, that's expected.
Watch you, like, be
Hey,
like,
I
yo,
got
just...
salty over those bugs, okay?
Yeah,
Watch
you
you be
did.
like, yo, just give it to me as it is, and it turns out there's like this game-breaking bug where it literally just crashes your computer and just
Cool.
infinite boot loop.
Yeah.
No, so what they're doing is they're adding in 2 new weapons. So for those of you who have actually run around in free mode the minute before the match starts, there's a Tommy gun you can find. Well, they're taking that, they removed it off of the free mini zone at the start of the game for the first part of it. They added it back, and now they're going to be adding it into World Spawn. So you can actually get it in-game, which is going to be pretty goddamn dope, because who doesn't want a Tommy gun to just, like, run into a building and be like, ah!
How dope?
Dopey dope.
Is it so dope that it makes you want to do dope?
Yeah. I want to do heroin until I die.
See, that's live for everybody to know that you want to do heroin.
Exactly.
Never say no to dope.
Okay,
Exactly.
guy who was just talking about ramming discs.
Exactly.
What are you talking about? He's the one that said that.
No, I said touch my floppy.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I wasn't pointing at you.
Oh,
You said it first, he said it second.
I said third.
So are we just recording our gibberish live at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Sounds
mean, it's
good.
the end of the show. It's the
I
last
mean,
20
that's
minutes.
literally what
It's basically
WordTech is.
What WordCast is, yeah.
WordTech. Get sound bites of us and make funny videos.
And then the last weapon change that they're making, that we have at least, is that they're taking the crossbow. So if you guys have actually played PUBG, crossbow is a very slow weapon. It's basically only useful if you get it at
For
this...
one shot.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
one
one
shot.
kill,
If
and
you
then
miss, you run for your life because you're gonna die.
If you miss, you pull out the frying pan.
Yeah, exactly. Pull out the frying pan and pray. Just be like, ah! And then, so they're taking the crossbow. they're reducing its reload rate by 35%. So they're basically cutting it in half almost. So you're taking what is almost like a 10-second reload time, making it almost 5 seconds. So
it's about time, yeah, because it was actually insane how long the reload time was.
Yeah, it was.
I'm also gonna make a video of you going like that, and then it's just gonna be you saying, "I'm gonna do heroin till I die."
Somebody caption that. We need to post that on Twitter and just be like, caption this.
Yeah.
Doing all those caption
things. If you post any memes about us on Twitter, guys, you gotta tag WordTech reviews. And
Hashtag WordTech memes.
It's like the
WordTech
hold on, you want some caption this?
Yeah.
Let's get some Ted Cruz up in here.
At WordTech reviews. There's a link in the description, guys.
You need a green screen just so we can do stuff.
It's time to stop.
Okay.
No, it's not over yet. Now, anyway, sorry. Let's keep going.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, cool.
But
fuck up.
Did you talk about the Mini 14?
The Mini 14? Oh, no, I haven't. This is also a new gun. It's a lightweight and compact 5.56 semi-automatic. It's a marksman rifle. It's going to be basically a new sniper rifle because it'll allow you to use the sniper rifle attachments, the muzzle and magazine slots, everything like that. I haven't actually seen it, so nobody really knows much about
this
it.
picture.
Well, no, I haven't seen it actually in game.
Oh, it's because it's only on the test servers.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how to pull it up. So
I can load up the test servers at home probably.
I meant like so that way they can see what we're looking at.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
I'll swap it to screen share real quick.
But yeah, it's pretty much on IGN's website.
I'm gonna do heroin till I die. Okay, so this is what it looks like, guys. Here, let me swap to screen cap really fast.
We assume it looks like.
We assume that is the last one that he was talking about there, the Mini 14, right?
Seeing so the image is directly above
it probably is, but it's also IGN, so I mean, that looks like it.
They only complain when there's too much water, which is why they gave Florida a bad review.
Florida got a bad review?
Next topic.
Is there not enough water? Is there not enough water? Florida has too much water.
Can we go to the next topic? That's actually like really bad.
Can we? What if we ship it to places that have drought? Okay, I'm sorry. I actually, sincerely, everybody that's going through any kind of hurricane right now or that already went through it, our hearts are with you. We're really sorry about what you guys are dealing with. It's not fun. I mean, the big natural disaster up here in Northwest right now is the forest's on fire. It's not natural, but the forest's on fire, and that pales in comparison to what you guys are going through.
Joe actually had a few comments.
Yeah.
For one, he has a CPU cache in RAID with his RAM. RAID 5.
Those are words.
Also, Ethan only plays Mario Kart.
I play a lot more than Mario Kart. What are you
don't
getting
even
on
play
about?
your Switch.
I don't even play
he
Mario Kart.
He bought a Switch so that he could play
Overwatch. Okay.
I play the Switch.
Yeah, he bought a Switch so that he could play through less than 1/4 of Breath of the Wild and then let his friend play a Switch.
Yes, but I mean, hey,
friend. Ladies,
get out of here.
shut your fucking mouth. Thank you, Calvin.
Whoa, wow, if Florida got a bad review for water, what is California's review?
Well, they have less water, so probably higher.
Probably pretty good. Yeah.
7.8, too much water.
I mean, they have a lot of smog there, too. That helps with less water, so
Yeah.
that's probably a great review.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, sorry, guys. But yeah, sorry about anybody that's going through a hurricane. We were not trying to actually be mean there. So, you guys, our hearts are with you. And, we hope that everything gets figured out over there. So, Nintendo event.
Yeah, I'll talk about this real quick.
Yeah, you go ahead.
So the biggest news is that both...
King Dedede.
No.
Have you seen those pecs?
No.
Hey, how many times can we interrupt Daniel while he's trying to say this news?
Yeah, the biggest...
So, wait, what's happening at this Nintendo event?
Doom and Wolfenstein 2 are coming...
Just mute the mic.
Why would
Doom
you mute it?
and Wolfenstein 2 are coming to the Nintendo Switch in 2018.
Whoa!
This is actually really exciting to
Yeah.
me. This is actually a good reason
That's
I'm probably going to
huge
get both
news.
of these.
And then not play your Switch.
Well, yeah, but I have to still collect games for it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, I spent like $450 on games for my 3DS and then I sold it.
Yeah. So this is really big news, though, because it's beyond Skyrim and the recent announcement of LA Noire. We didn't really have a whole lot of third-party titles.
Minecraft.
Doesn't count.
It's a big title.
It's on everything.
Shut your mouth.
It's on the 3DS. It's on everything.
It's not on the 3DS.
It's coming to the 3DS. It's
But
on everything.
It's not on it yet.
Okay, but my point is, it's coming to
It's
everything.
coming to everything.
Whatever. third-party titles are coming to this, which means that game developers are excited about the Switch, which means that they expect it to sell, which is evident by the fact that it's had a bigger launch than the Wii, which is one of the biggest selling consoles.
They expect it to sell, which is evident by the fact that it has sold a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest news. The second biggest comes out of, actually not really from the event, but from earlier in the day. Psyonix confirmed that Rocket League is getting cross-platform party play.
Which is really cool.
You can actually group up with your friends from other platforms. So from PlayStation, Xbox,
So it's going to have its
PC,
own friends list.
and Switch.
Yeah. So,
So
it's
you're
got
gonna have
its own friends system.
to do this, you're going to have to sign up for a separate account through Psyonix. However, you'll have a Psyonix friend ID that you can, add friends with.
Yeah.
And then, I'm on my Switch. I want to play with people. Now, I'm wondering if this also is going to allow for transfer of any non-exclusive gear.
I would hope so. I also,
But
it
the
makes
fact
me wonder,
that there is exclusive gear is what I'm wondering if maybe is a hindrance
if
on
you
this.
buy Rocket League, what if you got it for everything for free? If you
They
bought one
couldn't do
copy,
that.
that'd be super cool.
They couldn't do that.
Well, not with Sony in the way.
And Nintendo. No one's going to allow them to give out that many
that's a good
codes.
point. That's a good point.
But, yeah, so essentially, I already have it on my PC and my PS4.
I've never
I'm
played
gonna
it. I don't own it.
I'm going to buy it on the Switch. Which means I can just pick it up, play with some friends on my Switch if I'm out and about.
It's a good game for Switch.
It's a good game for
yeah.
everything.
So I might buy it for
It's
the
a
Switch
fantastic
actually. Yeah.
But yeah, you can just go play with whoever, which is amazing.
Right.
And Psyonix said that they've been working with everyone on figuring this out. The biggest thing, so a lot of people realize Sony doesn't want multi-platform play. Now, a lot of people were saying that they don't want this because blah, blah, blah. They are just in the lead, so they don't care, blah, 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 blah. Ultimately, one of the big things it comes down to is when you have something like... So the way that Minecraft is working as far as cross-platform play between the Xbox, the PC, mobile, and the Switch is that you're signing in on any of those platforms through an Xbox account. Which means, yes,
Right.
on your Nintendo Switch, in order to do
That's what I was getting at with
play,
Rocket League. Is the same way Minecraft handles it, where you just
sign
in and you
into
own it.
Xbox Live. Now, you
Yeah.
don't sign... If you sign in on your Switch, you still don't own it. You have to buy it to download it.
I was unaware
Yeah.
because Minecraft usually you just get it.
No, I mean, kind of. Because, if you buy it on mobile, you don't get it
No,
for PC.
the mobile version is different though.
It's
It's
getting... it's on
yes,
the,
correct.
But you're
right,
still
but
going to
the
have to buy
Pocket-
it separately.
Yeah, okay.
But the idea is that Sony doesn't want you signing into an Xbox Live account on your PS4. That's one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
So, since this is happening, we've seen that there is a workaround that Sony is okay with, and that is signing in through a separate account.
Right. Yep.
So, we're probably going to see more of this. I hope that publishers implement their own account system. So, EA already has their own account system through Origin. So, if EA wants to do cross-platform play like this,
Yeah.
it should be one singular account.
Yep.
What I would like to see Bungie do for Destiny is convince Blizzard to implement Blizzard accounts on...
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That would be really cool. And then just allow cross... Because clans are actually apparently cross-platform. To some extent. So it would be really cool if they implemented the ability for everything other than competitive multiplayer.
Yeah.
For you to be able to just play with any platform.
I like that idea. Yeah. Yeah.
But the big thing for me is I want, publisher-level accounts. I don't want game-specific or developer-specific accounts unless it's an indie dev.
Right.
Because I don't want 1 billion accounts.
Why not?
Because my password manager, I'd have to scroll.
Oh, that'd be a pain. Yeah. Yeah.
Other games, the other biggest announcement was Archive Arcades.
Yep.
Something like that, which is essentially Virtual Console, but presumably better because it's made by the same people that have done all of the Neo Geo games that are on the Switch.
Right. Right.
And the Neo Geo games are fantastic ports. So whatever they're doing for that emulation, keep doing it. The fact that they're doing it with Mario Bros. Is fantastic.
Well, they're
NES
working with Nintendo, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
The emulation's quality. Yeah.
But Neo Geo games are Nintendo games.
Okay, that's true.
And it's
right. Yeah. that's
very
true.
fantastic. And they were the same developers that did Neo Geo on pretty much everything.
Right. Right. Okay.
But also, a lot more games are going to be coming soon. You do have to rebuy them, so that's the one downside. Is everyone was hoping that Virtual Console would carry over. Personally, I didn't think it did, especially because there was a major architectural change going from what was essentially x86 to ARM.
And there's money to be made. There's a factor in
but
there too.
Nintendo didn't properly have an account system when Virtual Console started on the Wii U.
Right.
They do now,
yeah.
so I could see some level of carryover going forward. It just depends. The other game was Arena of Valor, which is like a mobile DC-based MOBA. But it's just the only reason this is significant is the Switch is finally getting a MOBA. I say finally, it's not even been out a year.
Right,
but,
right.
Yeah. Beta this winter for free. I don't know when the actual game will release, but for those of you that are interested in a portable MOBA, this is going to be a better option than playing on your phone.
Right. Okay.
So
it's interesting. It's interesting. One more piece of news.
Yeah, Google.
Google might be buying HTC. It isn't 100% confirmed, but they think that they're in the last moments of finishing the deal, basically. But buying HTC Mobility, just like they bought Motorola Mobility. So
hopefully they don't just buy this, scrap the patents, and then sell it off. And
well, you know that's one thing that's interesting about this. So Google's been down this road. If they're doing it again, they're either going to do it right this time, or they really like owning patents. And
which
I mean,
we know they
Google
do.
is they are a data company, right?
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting to me about this is either that or Google are the dying company saviors. What I mean by that is smartphone companies that are big starting to die off. Google goes, here, we'll buy you, and then help you get back on your feet, and then sell you to somebody for cheap. Because that's what they did with Motorola Mobility, right? They bought them. Motorola was starting to go downhill. There were problems and stuff like that. I mean, the Moto X, did that come out after? No, that was before they bought them. So that was starting to bring them back up. Or was it after they bought them?
It was after, because it's stock Android.
No, you're right. Yeah, so it's after.
Yeah.
So, the Moto X and whatnot, right? So they kind of helped bring them back up and then sold them off to Lenovo for a cheap price. But it's like they saved that company.
And they also took the patents, and they took the...
so they got something out of it, but they saved the company.
ATAP was a big thing that they got from there.
But even so, they took what they wanted, but they saved the company. If they do the same thing with HTC, they take what they want, they save the company. But I don't think so either. I think this is for the Pixel.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more in a second. As far as patents go, though, there's beyond just Google liking owning patents, there's another really big reason they like having a lot of patents when it comes to mobile. It's the fact that right now, if something happens, and let's say they want to push for a feature, and the way that OEMs implement it goes against another company's patent.
Yeah.
Google can't really help.
Yep.
The more patents that Google has, the less infighting between Android manufacturers there can be.
Right.
Because Google has very likely tried and not been able to get all of the main Android manufacturers to agree to not sue each other.
Yeah, which is
because if they did, everyone would use everything.
The mobile web of suing. You know, there's always people suing.
So the more patents that Google can secure, the better Android as an entire ecosystem can be.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Because they can open up everything. Like, look at if Google could get their hands on LoopPay's stuff.
Yeah, that'd be a big deal. Yeah, Google's basically, they're buying patents.
Yeah.
But also, HTC is a really quality hardware manufacturing company.
Yeah.
And since Google's actually making hardware now, where they weren't when they acquired Motorola, now that they're actually making hardware, it could be a really big deal for them.
And what I wanted to bring up with that is... when Google first bought Motorola, there was the big worry that Google was going to piss off OEMs and make them ditch.
They never did.
However, not just did they not do that, but Google also sold it relatively quickly. It takes a long time to make big shifts like that.
It's true.
We've seen another company, Microsoft, who relied on, very much like Google, other companies to get their product out there.
Right, yeah.
Make their own product completely, the Surface.
Yep.
And sell it and be very successful.
And they didn't piss off any OEMs.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
And...
I mean, part of that might be because of some fatal flaws, but
yeah,
there were some bad things about the Surface.
This shows that, I mean, there's a willingness among manufacturers to compete with the company, especially someone like Google who opens all of their mobile device patents.
Yeah.
There's nothing that the Pixel phones will have that Samsung or LG couldn't implement if they wanted to.
Right, exactly. That's a good point. Like squeezy sides.
Which actually is going the other way. LG implemented it first, and it looks like the Pixel 2 XL, which is
You mean HTC implemented it first?
Huh? No. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, okay, I was going to say,
HTC implemented it first. HTC is likely making the Pixel,
the Pixel 2.
Pixel 2.
Yeah.
While LG makes the Pixel 2 XL.
Right.
Both should have the...
Which shows the kind of blend there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Which, if
interesting.
if Google's planning on finishing this deal before the Pixel 2 launch,
then that
could be part
helps
of
there.
it.
Yeah, okay.
So
It's funny when you have companies talk about buying each other,
Yeah.
though. It's like, here's a couple $1 billion for some intellectual property. You know, some IP. Here you go.
and some employees.
And some employees and a factory. I mean, yeah, they get a lot of it. But if they sell the company later is what I'm getting at. It's just like, here's billions for intellectual property, and then here you go, Lenovo, or here you go, whatever. But I have a feeling HTC wouldn't necessarily be sold off.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think they keep them this time. Because they make their own hardware now.
Yeah.
With Motorola, they didn't.
Yeah.
And people thought they were going to, and they still didn't.
And HTC has some very quality production lines.
They do.
So.
This is true.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I guess really HTC would shift their focus to VR.
Yeah, where else would they go? Unless they dive deeper into the camera world, which they've done very little in. I mean,
what?
The the dedicated little portable camera. I'm just saying, like, maybe that's an option for them.
Yeah, that's a joke.
Actually, people really liked it. It didn't sell well, but it was actually really well reviewed.
As a business, it's a joke.
Yes. They don't do a lot, though, really.
Yeah.
Like, mobility, is that like 90% of their fucking company?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I'm not seeing a whole lot.
Yeah.
Stream's about over, by the way, guys. So just click on their products, yeah, I guess.
Well, we're trying to find like a Wikipedia because they might have stuff that's not on the HTC website that they sell.
Yeah, maybe so.
But yeah, on this, fitness, cameras, smartphones, and tablets. Tablets
Okay.
are a joke.
Tablets are a joke. Go to
Like the
cameras.
Nexus 9.
Check cameras.
So, Google.
I want to see. I don't know if they actually have anything other than the Re.
Cameras,
It's just the Re. Yeah.
So they have phones, the Re, a Google device.
So fitness and VR is the only thing left for them really at that point then, and maybe camera, if Google buys mobility.
What do they have for fitness?
Pretty
they
much
have phones.
nothing.
Fitness section links to phones. In fact, it goes away.
Yep.
It directly links back to the homepage. So, unless they're working on a fitness device.
Maybe. That's interesting. That's an interesting discovery there.
I think they had something before, though.
Okay.
So it might just be, they had a fitness band before. The
UE.
UA Health Box.
Oh, okay.
Well, Under Armour.
Under Armour Health
device.
Box.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Interesting.
So,
which is just like a wristband and a couple other things.
now,
okay.
if they only, depending on how they do this, I'm assuming that they would sell off just the production lines for their phones.
Yes, correct.
And keep some level of production and probably work on just being a hardware production company for other companies.
Maybe so, yeah.
Which is kind of what they already
Which
are.
is kind of what they've been doing anyway, in some ways.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate because they were coming back with the original HTC One, and now it's like,
and then
they tanked because it was
like,
HTC One, and then it was HTC One with spec bump, and then HTC One with spec bump.
Realistically,
and then
it went like
weird
this.
HTC.
It went like this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's about it.
Well, that's it for our stream this time, guys. Thanks for joining WordCast number 33, though. We'll be back next week, again at 9 p.m. Pacific time. I will eventually have a mailing list set up on the website so you guys can get emails a couple hours before we start.
When we have a working website.
When I fix the website, yeah. The goal is to fix that this weekend. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for everybody that is leaving comments, especially, Joe and Felipe and Alien Technology. Felipe, your food questions are very important, so you got to keep those coming. Just a heads up for everybody for future notice on October 4th?
Yeah.
On October... Is it 4th?
Yes.
Yes. On October 4th, he will not be here for the stream. The stream will still be happening. It will either be me and Calvin, or potentially we'll have a special guest. I'm trying to get a hold of him right now. Or both, yes. So, anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Obviously, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the links in the description. Don't forget, we're posting 5 videos a week on the channel now. This being one of them, but the other 4 a week are actual, just straight up videos. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. I got a lot of really great reviews coming for you guys.
Yeah.
So